Well, howdy, y'all. Welcome to State of the Game. I'm JP McDaniel, and today on the show we have Artosis, Liquid Tyler, EG in control, and our very special guest. It's going to be Destiny. Now let's go ahead and get this show started.
In control against Artosis debate, and keep going back and forth.
That'll be easy.
Or feel stabilized. For the turn of the heat. We gotta move.
Welcome to State of the Game. We'll get the other guys on in just a couple seconds, but Jeff, you got a bulldog. How's that going with your other dog, man? Have they met yet?
Old is a 4-month-old English bulldog, and he will be here Sunday, and he's going to be ready to go. And then I will be holding him up on all the shows. So next day of the game, I'll definitely show him.
Nice.
And he's going to be my little buddy. But the theory is that he's really young. Mm-hmm. And he'll be able to learn that the house is infested with POA, and hopefully, in like the secrecy behind Anna's back, he can scare POA into submission or something. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Gotcha.
I hope he doesn't jump around too much, man. POA's not gonna like that.
English bulldog,
but yeah,
not too worried about it.
That's true.
I actually have some dog news before we get started. I got my
What's your dog news?
My Maltese has had really long hair, and we had her shaved yesterday.
Yeah.
She's so funny looking now. Oh my god.
Can you hold her up?
I'll get her in a little bit. We're not on camera yet, so.
Yeah, you're not on camera. We're
but it's like
fixing
she looks like
right
a little
now.
rat, man. It's insane.
That's awesome.
Destiny, Tyler, you guys have any dog news? That seems to be how we're gonna start the show out. So I'm just gonna go ahead and ask.
I do not.
Destiny, any dog news, man? All right. Well, let's just talk about. Well, we have a ton of stuff to talk about. Codes Finals, BlizzCon. ESWC, foreign teams and Korean team partnerships. And then, of course, we're going to be mentioning the Heart of the Swarm unit changes, the PTR patch, and the new map pool. But, Dan, I'm going to let you start the show off and talk to us about the crowd that was at the GSL Finals.
Oh, my God, man. It was really big. It was, at the end. No, it was, it was unbelievable. The love they gave the GSL was just... I tell you, man, me and Tasteless and John, the translator as well, had tears in our eyes multiple times from that. It was insane.
Yeah,
the power of the crowd cheering. I was so flattered, and so it was.
I wasn't
it was
even
the
there,
best ever.
But some of the ways people talked about it is they'd be like, "Oh my God, the GSL is going to be in California. Well, of course I have to go. It's only a flight from Texas." Or like,
right?
It's like people were trekking across the country because they knew this was their best opportunity to see the best StarCraft 2 players play, and it made me swell with pride just because it's so awesome how willing
it was awesome,
the StarCraft 2 community is to mobilize and support these events.
And I don't know if they showed it on cam, but Jeff, were you watching the GSL Finals?
You bet your ass. Yeah.
Okay, so did they show the main stage? Did they take any shots of that? By main stage, I mean
booth shots, and then they'd show like the casters. And
okay, so
yeah,
what you guys couldn't see at the GSL Finals is there was an entirely different hall, and the entire hall was just one giant stage. This is where like the Foo Fighters performed, and they did like the opening and closing ceremony. I think it had 13,000 seats in it, is what we did by rough math, and it was filled. Every seat in that room was apparently taken up, so there had to be at least 20,000 people watching live or some crazy number like that.
I mean, remember that famous picture from Brood War where there's like the outdoor stadium with people filling it up?
Yeah.
Maybe we're at that point where we can start doing that again.
Yeah, it was like that. And, people say that BlizzCon is like a WoW convention, but it was definitely a StarCraft 2 convention in this one, man. Seriously.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also, too, that, I mean, if you play a Blizzard game, you play them all, probably. So there's probably a lot of people out there that were playing WoW in the crowd that were also there for StarCraft 2. Probably not what you want to hear, but whatever. Dan's like all upset now. He's like, God, I can't believe I casted that.
I have to go.
Let's throw another question. We'll throw this to Jeff because Jeff probably the most critical of the GSL finals. Was that the best one yet?
Damn it, dude. Best one yet?
It had to be, man.
The magic of the Fruit Dealer one was pretty cool. I don't know the game quality was any higher, but I felt more of my heart in that series. But for MMA to make it as I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think? I hate hating on the GSL final because it feels like it's not even kicking a horse when it's down. It's like stomping on its head, and peeing on it, and pooping and stuff. It's just so
we've
bad.
heard what you think about horses, so you shouldn't have an issue with that.
That's true. That's true. I definitely thought it was the best one yet, but I don't know if I was actually affected by the crowd and the actual atmosphere more so than the actual games were being the best ones yet. So maybe I'm biased, but
yeah.
Tyler, did you watch it in person?
Yeah. So yeah, I was affected by the crowd too, but there was a really nice storyline, I think, with MVP being the heavy favorite, but then MMA like coming out swinging. And if you know a little bit about MMA, he's kind of like a legend killer, I guess, and this has solidified it even more.
Yeah.
So I think that's like one of the best storylines, you know, to have like a clear favorite and a clear underdog. But the underdog is definitely someone who can surprise you and just take a series. And so that was really exciting to watch because every single game I'm like, okay, now MVP is going to show us why he's the best Terran in the world, why he has the best TVT in the world. And then MMA kept outplaying him pretty much. But the one thing that was kind of bad for me watching it, I kind of felt like that wasn't MVP's best play.
Yeah.
So we weren't really seeing, you know, the best possible final we could have. And so that kind of was in the back of my mind while I was watching. But other than that, it was really good finals.
Mm-hmm.
I think one thing that you can almost carry over is there's something called, I mean, people talk about like it's the Super Bowl effect, like one team rolls over and dies and the other team just smashes the other one because there's such a huge mental aspect to that championship caliber. $50,000 on the line in the biggest audience, bar none, StarCraft 2's ever seen. I don't know if that necessarily affected them, but certainly the GSL, well, actually, I'm blending it now. I'm talking about BlizzCon now.
GSL and BlizzCon.
Shit. What's the prize pool for a GSL?
50K, too. It's around there. It's not exactly 50K.
We just kept going with that.
Yeah, man, you would have been good.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. JP, you're always distracting me. Anyways, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting to bring up because does that affect MVP at this stage? Like the guy, how many has he won now?
3.
I mean, so I don't know. Maybe I just went down a path that I'm not going to follow up on, but it didn't seem like it was his best play is the point I want to make as well.
It was not his best play. MMA played probably the best Marine-based openings I've seen against Mech. He really did a great job. Like, as soon as MVP slipped up, he killed him for it and really, really punished him all the time, which was great to see with someone using an inferior strategy. But a lot of it was based upon the fact that MVP had been playing BlizzCon all day long, and he'd been having hard games, man. This BlizzCon, I mean, yeah, the two Koreans looked like they dominated, but actually they had a lot of close games away, lost a lot of games. So he was actually really tired at that point where MMA got to rest all day. He could focus on just that. Because, of course, BlizzCon is just as much money and in a lot of ways more important than another GSL win for MVP. You know, having a BlizzCon win plus 3 GSLs or just having 4 GSLs, it's two different things. So definitely MVP was tired. I actually talked to him and his coach before, during, and after the match, and he was a little bit beaten up from the whole day of playing. But obviously MMA, that was the best I've seen Marine Marauder play out of anyone. Better than Clyde's even. And that's not a joke, because Clyde has sick Marine Marauder into Siege Tank play.
We'll talk a little bit more about the BlizzCon tournament and some of the MVP struggles, because I don't think any of it was on stream. But one last thing about the Code S finals, and Destiny, I haven't even thrown. What were your thoughts on the Code S finals, man? In your royal throne there. I
actually took off after the first like 3 or 4 games because of all the parties going on. But I mean, I thought it was really cool. The storyline behind it is the coolest thing of all, I think. In Control hit on it earlier. Not only was MMA the underdog, but if you were in the audience, and I don't know how much you could tell over the stream, he was definitely a fan favorite.
For sure, yeah.
You could tell when they were calling for cheers for both players. So after the first game, I was kind of worried that MMA, I kind of thought, kind of like Tyler was saying, like, oh, maybe he can cheese him a couple of times, and then, MVP, will come out, and stomp him. But, I mean, after game 2, I mean, MMA was playing really, really well, in my opinion.
Yeah. Artosis, you're always talking about how mech is the go-to strategy for TVT. In the show notes, I've got to state, the show notes were made by the fans this time. They actually submitted them to me, and I kind of combined a lot of them together. And one of the questions this guy has in here, and I feel terrible because I just didn't get your name down. There's too many tweets, so I couldn't find it. It was already off. But he wants to know, is mech now entirely dead in TVT?
No, it's not dead at all. It's no one wants to do it. No one's being manly and stepping up and figuring it out. You actually cannot go Marine Marauder all game against mech. If someone actually executes mech correctly, you will die. You will lose. And MVP has shown that. And again, he was tired, and MMA basically showed the best he could with that. Like he played beautifully.
Can I ask you a question, Artosis? When you say that, what in watching, especially the second game on Dual Sight, watching MMA versus MVP, it almost looked like a ZVT to me, where MVP was playing the Terran and MMA was standing in for the Zerg, where every time MVP moved out of the way, the Terran was dropping in the main, the Terran was harassing the third, MMA was just everywhere like a Zerg. Is that really completely... It seems like on some maps, mech would be really good, like on Shack, but on other maps like maybe Tal Dareem, like it would be really hard to pull mech off against a really mobile Terran like MMA.
Certainly, it's always going to be really hard to do, but I look at it more like from a Brood War standpoint, where no matter what map you're playing Protoss, you are going to go mech. And I think that's the same for TVT, and that's what it was in TVT and StarCraft 1 as well. The thing is, you have to defend perfectly. Like, there were so many times, like, in that game, yeah, he was all over the map on Dual Sight, but then still, it was like 3 base against 3.5 base, and they were equal supplies, and then he was caught with all his tanks unsieged, and still almost won. It's ridiculous how weak Marine Marauder becomes against just a perfectly executed mech army. Like, if you make huge turret rings and stuff, they aren't going to be able to drop you. You know, you put up sensor towers, you can get back into the correct positions, and eventually you're going to force them into extremely unfavorable trades.
Now, Artosis, I got to ask, Tasteless had his documentary. Where's yours, man?
I don't know, man. No, you worked at GOM back in StarCraft 1. I only started in StarCraft 2, so it makes sense that they would make his. I don't know. I don't know if they have plans for mine or not.
Yeah. Jeff, did you happen to see that?
I've seen it posted all over the place. I haven't watched the thing itself.
Oh, you need to watch it, man. It was...
it's pretty funny, actually.
It's touching.
Let's... Mark, can you actually take a shot of this real quick? There's a 360 view of the crowd at BlizzCon here. Can I full screen? Well, I don't think I can full screen, but let's see. So it goes far back all the way there. You really can't even see where the crowd ends. But there was a bajillion people there, man. This was even before it started, I think.
Yeah, that's like
crazy.
Leading
that
up
is
to
bonkers.
Yeah.
And it goes all the way back here. And the crazy thing is, on the other side of this wall was the main stage. And it spans from there all the way down to, I keep zooming in on accident, all the way down to there. And it was filled in
You can
another
always find
entire
Thunder
hall.
Tots. Always find Thunder Tots there.
That's true.
Is that him in the middle there?
It's the best marketing he has ever done for himself, is give himself that haircut. Boom. Thunder Toss.
And there's Mark from Quantic Gaming pushing up his glasses on the ground. That's kind of a funny shot.
Hyman and the tournament and the figures and the glitz, the glamour.
All right, but yeah, BlizzCon crowd, it was craziest thing I've seen in esports, bar none. That was just an insane thing. Artosis, what did it mean to you being up on stage when you walked out and everyone in the crowd stood up and just was sitting there applauding you for a good 30, 40 seconds?
I know, it was like the most touching thing that has happened to myself or Nick. I can speak for him on this. We talked about it a lot because it was like so unbelievably flattering to have people like really show how much they love the GSL and our casting, which I was just so happy, man. We've worked really, 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 really hard to make our casting the best it can be, more than any other caster by far, I would say. We worked so hard on being a good duo and getting our cast really top notch and knowing what's going on and all that. So the fact that everyone appreciated that was just made my year.
Cool. Well, congratulations to you. Congratulations to MMA and the GSL. Let's talk about the BlizzCon tournament. The first day, did they just show ZVZs all day? Is that correct, Jeff, on the stream? Did you just constantly watch? Yeah. What were your thoughts? I mean, I would browse Reddit every now and then on that first day, and it seems like they were just getting destroyed.
I didn't quite understand the fervor for which it was. I mean, I think people were really upset about the close positions. Mm-hmm. They were pretty furious about that, but people were calling it the worst tournament of the year. I mean, they were being very harsh, very critical of it. I didn't quite share the fervor. I didn't watch that and like flip a table and start choking out kittens and stuff like that. I wasn't that mad, but at the same time, if I'm playing, for $50,000 and you're on that stage, everyone's watching BlizzCon. Every fucking person's watching BlizzCon.
Yeah.
I would be pissed if I got close spawn locations as a Zerg player against, a Protoss or Terran for that matter. So I think that happened to Sen, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, against MVP, I believe. Was that the second game, Dan? I think you guys casted that.
Which one was it?
Did he get close spawns on Shattered, Sen versus MVP?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Didn't that happen to Nesty and MVP too?
Nesty won, yeah. He just two-based Roach Ling and won.
That was actually that was really
game.
sad, man.
Yeah, it was a terrible game.
That series was terrible, and I was so pumped because this is where Sen brings it out, man. That guy can play in front of the entire world. He can sit down against anybody in front of any size audience for any amount of money and actually put up games that can beat the top Koreans in StarCraft 1 or StarCraft 2. So I was actually really sad to see how terrible that series turned out. I was so pumped going in, then it was just the garbage match of the tournament.
I think we should be critical of Blizzard for that. I think there's no excuse 1 year after releasing the game to host a tournament with that much money, that much prestige, and overlook mistakes that no other tournament half as big of a deal as that one would ever get away with. Ever. You invite those guys to a location, you offer up a $100,000 prize pool, whatever it was. It was probably $100,000, right? 50, 25, and then...
Yeah, I think 100,000 probably.
Something like that, 100, 120, whatever. It's a huge prize pool, one of the biggest. And then to have glaring issues like that, they should be ashamed of themselves. And I mean it that harshly. They should either get people that can... they could have fucking Xeris run a tournament and everyone would be happy with it. I mean, what the fuck? Xeris, at BlizzCon? He's like, hey guys, I'm running BlizzCon. What the fuck?
He's always been a good tournament ad. It's so sad.
It's good, I'm just saying.
You refer to him like that. You could even have Xeris do it, but actually just runs sick events, always has.
There's got to be a chair joke in there somewhere.
The joke is he's a community guy. Yeah. Grab the community guy and throw him in there and have him run the tournament. Yeah. What I'd like is for Blizzard to know what to do with that. Run an amazing tournament. We're pretty easily satisfied with that, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I speak for the other three, but BlizzCon to me is being there and the experience for it in person was actually incredible. But the stream definitely had its problems, and that's a shame. But I feel like also the best games at BlizzCon weren't shown. I know that Naniwa almost beat Nesty. It was a 2-1 series. I think, Dan, you spoke with them, right? It came down to a century, you said?
Yeah, he forgot a century in Game 3. From what he told me. I actually haven't watched it. I just downloaded the replays a few minutes ago. But yeah, apparently he forgot a sentry and an all-in came, and if he had another force field, he would have held. So
yeah,
Nanawa, as we saw, he skipped MLG so that he could truly practice for this event. I think really Select has been skipping some stuff as well. So I mean, it's too bad we didn't see more of their games. We saw a good amount of Selects, I guess.
I think Select lost 1-2 to MVP as well. So, I mean, there was apparently some really good matches. Have they said if they're going to be releasing replays or not?
Yes.
Yeah, I
think they already have.
They saw the replays.
Okay. Well, I'll have to check out some of the threads. I'm sure some people have already watched those games. I'm sure they're already up on YouTube as well. But, Dan, of the matches that were casted, are there any must-see games, in your opinion?
I didn't actually get to see the finals yet. I had to run off and
we'll get to the finals, because I'm sure...
you mean from the games that weren't on stage?
No, that you casted yourself.
No, I thought I got pretty terrible matches, actually. Nothing was... I guess actually the Select Sen, I casted that, right? Yeah. That was really good. That was a really fun series.
Did you
they
cast
both
that?
played really well. And the other ones I got though I didn't think were as good.
Yeah, yeah. Tyler, how many games did you watch, and if so, did you any mentionable games?
Very few. I was just I mean, they didn't have that many. I mean, I think what was on stream was also in person. There weren't like more games in person.
Yeah.
So there were very few, and I was doing other stuff at the convention. I knew they were going to release replays because BlizzCon always does. So I was like, I'm not going to come to BlizzCon and watch games.
Right.
And I'm going to watch replays later. So I kind of avoided watching any games. I would have watched a Teammates game or Naniwa's game, but they didn't really have any on stage.
Yeah, yeah.
Naniwa played Major on stage, and then that was it.
Yeah, yeah. Destiny I guess is the Zerg player. Were any of the ZVZs super interesting to you that were shown?
I actually like Tyler's really eloquent way of saying he didn't watch any games, so I'm going to go ahead and hop on that excuse. I didn't want to spoil any of the replays I would watch later.
Right. All right. Well, let's talk about the finals. I guess we'll just jump straight to the last match, and I'll just throw to Jeff because he's going to be the critical one here probably, but we all should maybe be a little bit critical. Jeff, you watched the last game on stream, correct?
Yeah.
What were your thoughts? I'll just phrase it that way.
For the BlizzCon tournament?
Yes.
It's really hard for Nesty and MVP to live up to the hype. Okay, well, you're talking about the last game specifically. This is the Shakir's Plateau game, right?
The one that Nesty threw.
Oh,
yeah.
God. Jesus Christ. Revisiting that experience. I mean, my dream would be to sit here and watch it with Greg so I could, like, feel his anger. Just, like, bathe in the rage. But when he had such strong muta control, like, he was trashing MVP. He had him down to 3 bases. MVP squeezes out a 4, throws on a couple missile turrets. MVP Nesty, tried a couple weird Ling counters that, like, the one Ling counter, which was absolutely bonkers, he just threw it away entirely. And then he, like, got scared after that. It was like, well, fuck it, I can't ever do that again. And then they sat back. And I feel like every Zerg and Terran should know now that when it becomes split map versus split map on Shakir's Plateau, if you make 10 ghosts and have any number of tanks, like, I don't know how the Terran loses there. I just don't see it. But that's not to say that it's time to be a little bit critical of Nesty. I don't know what happened, if he died in spirit in that game, or he just stopped caring, or he just, I don't know. But he had like 6 Broodlords wander forward by themselves and die.
Yeah.
He did a Baneling drop on the main base at like the 45th minute, which, that's got to be the last base in terms of priority, and it was going up against MVP, who picked it apart. He absolutely annihilated the drop, and I didn't see what the drop was going to do anyways. And then at the end, he had like 7k, then he had 0k, and then he shoved everything and died and left. GG. And it was like...
Yeah, 27 broods was his game ender up against Viking Ghosts. Like,
yeah, I was all excited because like, oh my god, he's going to crack the blockade, and then he's going to instantly repop and just crack it. But he had no money. That was it. He spent it all on the Broodlords.
Yeah. And
he literally like walked towards Vikings. It would be like... I don't know what to say. Like, he literally like... Broodlords, dun 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 dun. There's like Vikings coming up, sir. It's fine. Fuck it. We're gonna kill everything before they kill us, and it didn't work out.
Yeah. It was
$25,000.
Yeah. Steven, what were your thoughts?
I don't buy into like conspiracy stuff, but I mean, like, I don't understand how. It's unfathomable. Like, I know Platinum players literally that would have won against MVP in the situation that Nesty was in. He was like, literally, he had like 13k minerals banked. He had like 10,000 hatcheries, tons of larvae. MVP was on the ropes. He was broke at like 160 supply. And it was like somebody like took a poll of the audience, like, what's the absolute worst thing that Nesty could do now with 120 banelings? And it's like the second option was drop the banelings in the main. The first option was make 120 banelings and then use them to defend against drops.
Yeah,
like you're in Diamond League where you move your whole army to defend against the drops with banelings. And like he literally went from like I don't even remember who was casting, but he was it Day 9? Was Day 9 casting that game?
Yeah, me and Sean were
Day 9 yeah. I don't remember if it was you or Sean that pointed out that he started with like 120 banelings. By the time he was done defending drops,
70.
he was down to 70. Yeah. Like,
it's bad.
And then he dropped them all in the main, And then like at the end, he made like 30 Broodlords with no anti-air. Broodlords aren't even that good against ghosts. And then MVP dropped a scan on like 30 Corruptors beforehand. Like Siphon was only in Heart of the Swarm, so he can't kill buildings. Like I have no idea. Like I don't understand. Like the game, he had to have, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say he threw it because he felt bad for MVP because he lost. I mean, GSL, I mean, I don't know. Like, there's no one in the world who's good enough to beat Nesty when Nesty has that big of a lead on them. Regardless of Nesty can be half asleep, and you could, like, bug him and wake him up 5 minutes after getting that lead, and he would still win the game. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Tyler, did you watch the games? I know Artosis, you didn't watch them.
I didn't see these games.
Okay. Well, I guess that'll end that conversation, because I don't know. It was an exciting final to be there in person, but I'm sure watching it at home, everyone was just like, why did ST throw that? Which, that is kind of a shame. But final thoughts on BlizzCon. We'll just go down the line. We do have to go to a quick commercial here. But Artosis, final thoughts?
It was awesome. Biggest, most exciting, passionate event I've ever been to. I love it. Every year it's awesome. But this year was the best.
I think it was the best, too. Steven, final thoughts?
Yeah, it was really cool. My first BlizzCon, so seeing everybody there and getting to play all the Heart of the Swarm, so I'm seeing how big it was, and the audience was really cool.
Tyler?
The tournament was pretty cool. It still has a lot of problems that they need to fix. I think with a couple of experienced tournament admins and organizers, they could improve a lot of things. Even, beginning with the qualifiers, and they could get a better player pool. And then, of course, like the map situation and how many games get streamed, all this kind of stuff. I feel like it's stuff that Blizzard could improve upon and make like one of the best like tournament experiences ever, because they already have such an insane live crowd and so many eyeballs watching the tournament, even if it's bad. So they might as well just put in a little more effort and make it good, and that would be cool. But BlizzCon in general was really fun. It was my first BlizzCon. I demoed all the games they had to demo. And, I watched the costume contest, the dance contest.
Dude, what about the person that won that costume? Did you see that, Tyler?
Yeah, I
the
saw
adjutant or whatever? That was actually insane, man.
Yeah, that was a pretty cool costume. But yeah, and then the host, the comedian that they get to host it, I really liked him, actually.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Whole thing was really awesome. Hopefully I'll get to do it again. Hopefully I can compete next time.
Well, if you didn't see the adjutant, go Google 2011 BlizzCon costume winner. That's the best one. Jeff, quick thoughts, and be quick about it because we have to cut to a commercial.
Just really proud of the community. They came out in droves, and it shows that StarCraft 2 is on the rise. Really excited about it. Echo Tyler's sentiments. It's a wasted opportunity. I think Blizzard should have put their baby on the platform and then done it good by blowing up fireworks and having a really good show with proper settings and all that shit. And also I had a bit of the Home Story Cup twinge where I was like, fuck, I should have been there. So I'll be at the future BlizzCons for sure.
Awesome. All right, guys, quick commercial. When we come back, we'll be talking about ESWC briefly, and I'll explain why briefly after that. It's not because we hate Europe or anything. Then, of course, foreign tournament teams and Korean teams partnerships. So we'll be right back after this commercial.
Used to love ESWC.
Someone should tell these guys. They should tell them what VODs are. I guess.
No shit, right? It's like you try to find the VODs for ESWC, and it's like a link to this huge own.tv page with 1,000 VODs there, and it's like nothing's labeled well. Do I really want to go through like 1,000 hours of, I love Total Biscuit, but I don't want to listen to 1,000 hours of his filler trying to find these games and like where they start and like what if I don't get to jump ahead? Some of these things
going around the corner
ahead and they mess up and they have to reload, and I'm just like, oh my god, I want to watch the VODs, but I can't.
Their VODs are literally just, the streamers stream off their normal streaming channels on OWN TV and Justin TV, Twitch TV, and that's all they are, is like the automatic recordings of streams that you get all the time with any stream. There's like zero effort into organizing the VODs and presenting the VODs at all. I think all the responsibility was put on the streamers, which is unheard of.
Well, they did. So the show notes told me that they had community casters streaming on their own sites, right? Is that how that was covered? I guess you guys didn't watch the tournament, so why am I even asking you? Jeff, do you know if this is true?
I think I heard something about that. Total Biscuit was there. He was like the host caster. So all the really important matches, from what I understand, he did. Him and I want to say Kaldor was casting as well. Kaldor's not there. I think he was in Korea.
Oh.
Kaldor was casting with Doa. Yeah.
From Korea, if I'm not mistaken, though, right?
Yeah. Well, they weren't there.
So the official stream was
Korea,
French, apparently, according to the chat. So.
I think what we can say is the streaming was disorganized and bad. We're gonna have to get the full story when Idra gets back, but Idra was pretty freaking pissed.
He was pretty, yeah.
bad
He was raging
right.
on Twitter about, was it the tournament structure or?
Wait,
like
what
I said,
happened?
we'll have to get the full story when he gets here.
Yeah.
Don't go too crazy, guys. I don't fucking know. Calm down.
Yeah, sorry.
What happened to Gregor's?
Dan, are you retarded?
Yeah. No, I know
Look,
he lost,
Jeff,
but
he's
like,
still
why is he
looking for
angry?
the adjutant picture, man. Just give him some
No, I
time.
found it. Guess what? It wasn't worth me looking for it. Sorry, guys. Now,
Whoa.
sorry, guys.
I think you're just bitter about the Rickroll.
Dan, I'll repeat it for you because you have a tough time looking at pictures and listening at the same time.
Sorry. Yeah, no, I do. That's why I need
No.
people to link for me.
We don't
And
know what
send
Greg
Rickroll
was mad
me.
about.
It's
He's
a
mad,
terrible
so we'll
thing.
find out later. Okay.
All right.
But
We'll
what I
talk
do
to him.
know, there was a complaint that made its way out that's absolutely bogus and ridiculous. Axlav plays like with the old computer style of CRT, where the monitor is smaller, it's not elongated.
Mhm. 4x3
The
or whatever.
tournament wouldn't let him do it. They were like, "No, you can't change that setting."
Really?
So, yeah, and
It's a
that's the
simple
only
setting too.
tournament
You
ever
can
to
change
not
any
let-
monitor to 4x3. Like,
Yes,
Yeah. Most
That
monitors
was-
have a button that you just press it and it does it for you, in fact.
I don't think they thought that it entailed like picking the computer apart and putting it together, but they would not let him do it. People were telling me it's the least player-friendly tournament ever. They had just tremendous issues, and again,
Wow.
I'm sorry we don't have like details about this,
Yeah.
but they need to be, even that preliminary crap needs to get out there because tournaments in this day and age, like we're talking all the time, there's too many tournaments. Well, guess what? What we can do as a community is the shitty ones, the ones that don't do a good job, and if they want to remain active on the scene, they have to clean up that kind of crap, if I'm not mistaken. So that's the preliminary word.
well, it wouldn't be a state of the game without us shitting on something.
Somebody
out of
just
Europe.
said there's people linking in the chat saying, and I don't know if this is true or not, but they're saying that they didn't want it to play in 4x3 because if they switched to his view on stream, they were worried that it would screw the stream up. I don't know if that's true or not. But
I could see that, but I mean, at BlizzCon, they were auto-adjusting the resolutions on the two sides.
From what I
like-
know, by the way, every tournament in the world does do the widescreen, and you get more screen on your screen,
Yeah.
so you can screen while you screen. So why doesn't he just switch over to that?
I mean, it doesn't make any sense at all. I make fun of him on a daily basis, but the bottom line is if I'm going to have a player at a tournament flown across the planet, I don't want to fuck up his gameplay over screen. Like, if he's an idiot, whatever, but as long as it's like an easy fix, then let him do it, you know? Like,
Oh, of course they should have, but
Nest steps
X5
off,
should switch
it's like-
over.
I have to play with my monitor facing upwards. They're not going to be like, no, that looks stupid. You need to have it facing downwards.
Well, I think Stefano was on Fuck Slasher today, so if you actually want to hear some non-shitting on ESWC...
What is
and
that
talk to
show, by the
Stefano.
way, JP?
It's like
Why
SC
is there a
Center, but
show-
renamed.
SC Center? Oh, it's just news?
Basically, yeah. But it's all esports, not StarCraft 2.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So yeah, that's ESWC. Next up, yeah, okay. I just have to state, that's what Slasher should look like
That's
on
what
the
it should
right.
have been. Yeah.
That's what it should have been. Let's get this out of the way. Slasher, you fucked up. You should have been completely bald, not this weird. You actually look better with this new hair, man. I just want you to
Hotbit
understand
made the
this.
best tweet. After that, he said, the joke's on us. Slasher tricked us into making him look better now. And it's
Exactly. That's actually the best. Congratulations, Hotbit. You have won the best tweet of the day. Slasher, you fucked up. Let's move on to talk about foreign teams plus Korean teams partnerships. Now, Destiny, we'll start with you. You are a member of Quanta Gaming. You guys just announced a partnership with IM. Talk to me a little bit about that. Kind of flesh it out, explain really what all that entails.
Pretty much Mark had been talking to IM. Quantic has always kind of existed in the background. They have really serious FPS teams for Call of Duty and Battlefield, but their StarCraft 2 team has always been, just kind of, just like another mediocre StarCraft 2 team. They have a lot of really good people on it, but they've never done much in terms of promoting it. But as of recently, like within the past month or two, like Mark has really tried to rev up their StarCraft 2 engine. Like you saw that they recruited Sase. I joined after Mark told me their plans with IM. And what they're pretty much aiming to do is it's kind of like another East meets West idea where they're trying to get IM on board with Quantic, and then they're trying to step Quantic's like SC2 division up as much as possible.
And of course, that does mean that Nesty and MVP, is that the only two members that are coming to Providence? You'll be there, Sase should be there. Is any other IM members coming that you know of, or is that unreleased information?
Yeah, they were throwing a lot of names around. I'm not entirely sure what the final
I've heard
decision is going to be.
A ton of different names coming from IM.
Yeah. So have I. But they I don't know what the final decision is going to be. They still have to figure out like the logistics of everything. But yeah, I've heard a lot of names coming out too.
And what does this mean? I mean, for you, are you going to go over to Korea anytime soon, or are you going to stay here stateside, or what does this sponsorship really do for you?
Well, I mean, one of the things that Mark stressed was the opportunity to train with IM people, or at least borrow some ideas from the IM coach. I'm not entirely sure. Like I said, we're still kind of new to all of this in terms of what's going to be happening. And IM's really busy, with all of their GSL stuff that they just finished up and everything. So a lot of stuff is still kind of in the works with how that'll, I guess, pan out.
All right, well, we'll look forward to that. Now, Jeff, you guys also made some news over at EG, announcing a partnership with Slayers. What does that entail?
It's kind of a partnership in the sense it's like a training partnership. We have our home base in Korea will be the Slayers house, so Huck and Puma will live there as long as we're partnered with Slayers. And then when Idra moves over there, I think the plan is for him to be there as well. Mm-hmm. We'll see though. That's not set in stone because they don't have infinite space there, and Slayers actually has a pretty big team. But we're really excited about that. We've got a pretty good relationship with them we've been working with them on this for a long time. Slayers is kind of a legendary organization. Just with Boxer, I think you can always just make that claim at least. So
yeah.
It's pretty cool to be attached at the hip to such a prestigious organization, and hopefully we're going to work out some good stuff on this side as well. I mean, they're going to be very present in the MLG circuit, so maybe boot camping here. We'll see. Content, who knows? But certainly the two teams being paired together just means more interaction with a foreigner team and a Korean one, and I think that's good news for everybody.
Now, you mentioned Huck and Idra will both stay at the house. Do you guys have
Puma.
Is it Puma? Okay, so Puma
yeah.
and Huck will stay at the house. Are there any more plans for some other players to go over there? I mean, like Idra, like yourself, like the Muslim, any player in the EG house. Is it going to be open and come to anyone for both EGs and Slayers? Or is that all still be working out?
Slayers house, like I said, it's pretty tight in space, so I mean, certainly people can run through there and train with him and spend a day or two there, but it's not going to be it's not a hotel where people can just stay at all times because it's based on availability of who's staying there for the longest, and then they get priority. But the Muslim has a Code A spot that got kind of leaked. I think they wanted to make that a bigger deal than it was, but unfortunately everyone already knew about that because the Muslim was so happy, he told a lot of people. So eventually he'll go over there and do a Code A competition, Idra as well. And then I'm going to try to bridge the gap between a lot of these guys and be over there myself to get a little bit training in and hopefully do some other stuff as well.
Cool. Well, we'll look forward to that. I guess that's it for that. There were some other questions here. The person that made this wants to know which team will benefit most from these sponsorships. Artosis, I'll throw that to you.
The two deals seem to be a little bit different. Obviously, EG and Slayers both are teams that do have money. IM is a team that really didn't have money, but instead has a lot of talent. So, I mean, everyone is actually getting basically what they want out of everything, I think. Everyone's getting... So it's hard to say, like, who's actually benefiting the most. I would say who's going to benefit the absolute most from all of this, I would say not necessarily a team, but specifically Huck. Being able to live with Slayers, which is one of the best teams for training, and Huck is like a workhorse. He's someone who will play a ton. I think that out of everyone in the world involved in these two deals, Huck is the one that's really going to... I mean, I don't think we're ever going to see him go away at this point. If he just lives with Slayers and plays on their hours,
Yeah.
He's just always going to be one of the top players.
That's a good point. Tyler, the second question is, which remaining foreign teams would you see in a partnership with the Korean team and vice versa? Is Team Liquid, well, you guys have OGS. Who else is out there? I guess Dignitas?
We don't have OGS.
Well, you guys...
The deal between Liquid
do.
and OGS is much different than, like... I don't think we give OGS any money, really. I think it's like a... We help
Shared
each other
living
out.
space.
Yeah.
But you're still
It's not-
quote
I
unquote
don't think we've
partnered
ever
with
like
OGS.
flown an OGS player to a tournament, which I think like Quantic will definitely be doing for IM.
Yeah.
And like, you know, that's what it, like all these others involve. We're kind of, I guess we were kind of like the light version, and people have kind of like
Right.
intertwined themselves with teams more than we ever did. But yeah, we're still working with OGS. I don't know what other team would
I
get
guess
in on this.
Dignitas? Who could they even... What about the Korean teams that are left? There's what? Xenix?
Who's left in Dignitas? Only like 2.5 members.
Xenix is like pretty much dead anyways.
Is it? What-
Yeah, the teams are all getting pretty tight right now over here. So I'm not really sure what'll happen with all that, especially with, you know, StarCraft 1 seemingly getting ready to do stuff in StarCraft 2, and then I don't know if there's going to be many more team partnerships out here between foreigner and Korean teams. Seems like it's
Startail.
almost full.
Yeah, what about StarTel? That's true. They could do something. I don't know what
Yeah,
foreigner
maybe.
team they're going to do something with. The only one that comes to mind is, I guess, Dignitas. But like Destiny said, it's Select, Show, and the Protoss player that I can't remember. But whatever, he's European anyways. Let's talk about the...
Now you done it.
Now I've done it. Hey, man, I don't care. We're going to jump around since we have like 15 minutes, so we got to take the next break. Let's talk about the new map pool on the ladder, then we'll go back to the Heart of the Swarm unit changes. So the new map pool was announced today for Season 4. It is Abyssal Caverns, Antigua, Metalopolis, Crypt, Plateau, Temple, Tal'Darim Altar, and Xel'Naga Caverns. And the big thing here are that close spawns are disabled on Metal and Shattered Temple. Jeff, what are your first reaction? What were your thoughts on the new ladder pool?
I think everyone will unanimously agree it's the best map pool they've released to date. Reintroducing Metalopolis, which was a fantastic map, taking out close spawns, dropping Backwater Gulch, and a few of the other ones.
Scorched Basin
Backwater,
and
Searing Crater, and
Typhon
Typhon
Peaks.
Peaks. Yeah.
or,
Yeah,
whatever
the
it's
Scorched
called.
one was so bad.
Searing Crater, yeah. That
Searing Crater, rather. Excuse me.
was
Yeah.
pretty bad, man.
I'm really happy about it. It's good. It's a fairly solid map pool. And I kind of said this earlier on Inside the Game, but it's a little bit. It's hard to look at this map pool and not be a little bit upset that it took them this fucking long to figure out close spawns. They even did it after BlizzCon. Like,
You know,
it's hard not to be ungrateful. I'm sorry, but it is in this one.
Well, I'm just happy that finally they have it like that. And I saw someone type, and I'm going to steal it from them. Someone typed like, you know, it's a really good map pool when you can actually thumbs down Xel'Naga Caverns, and that's what I
true.
did, and I am really happy with this map pool.
That's
Yeah.
that's a good point.
They still need to make Antigua cross position only, I think.
Yeah,
Antigua
Antigua's
really
actually
suffers.
really
Tired
bad.
of your third
Yeah, that would help.
or losing your
Yeah,
third
it really
Tyler?
suffers from positional imbalance when you're not cross, because someone's third is going to be exposed, and someone's going to be more exposed to drops. It's not like diversified gameplay. It's just imbalanced gameplay. So I think they should really make that cross only, and I'd be really happy with the map pool.
It's actually pretty incredible looking at this poll. On Team Liquid, I was very happy Blizzard changed the map poll at the last second, and it's 98% yes, 2% no, 2,934 for yes, and 48 for no. So I guess
48 idiots.
yeah, I guess that's kind of the community getting it right there. Destiny, what are your thoughts on the new map pool?
Yeah, I mean it's awesome. It's like the first good stuff. I never ever in my life thought that they would take out close spawns. So, I mean, it seems like for the most part they did everything pretty good.
Well, that didn't last as long as I wanted to. So let's talk about the PTR patch. Let's see, bug fixes, blah, blah, blah. All right, Jeff, you said it earlier. I'll let you say it again, man. What is this patch? What should it be labeled?
Well, JP, it would seem that Protoss might have gotten an upgrade.
Oh, that's terrible.
Isn't that good?
It's pretty good.
I don't know.
that
I
was
don't know where that came from. Nobody was bitching about the cost of upgrades, except we were making the joke that the 3-3 shield upgrade is the same as buying a mothership. But other than that, I didn't notice until this patch that actually, I think Terran and Zerg upgrades. Let's have the chat yell at me if I'm wrong on this. The Terran and Zerg upgrade cheaper, right? +1 melee range, and then they're all cheaper. So the Protoss upgrades were just for whatever reason more expensive. And what they did is they made them cost the same as the Terran and Zerg ones, right?
It's actually a great fix. That is because I've actually found that when both races are trying to upgrade, like in a PvT, even though you have Chrono Boost, it's like Terran pretty much keeps up with Protoss, and it's like you just have to spend so much gas and everything. It's hard to do, and I especially like the fact that they are playing around with the Plasma Shield upgrade because that thing's kind of sucky, man. Like it's so hard to actually buy that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And against Terran, it's like not even worthwhile. So
I think the weird thing about figuring out the Protoss upgrades, or maybe the reason why they might be more expensive, is because the Protoss upgrades are kind of catch-alls, especially for the shield upgrade. That's probably why it's been so expensive for so long. Like your shield upgrade, does it affect the buildings?
Yeah.
So it affects buildings, it affects all air units, and it affects all ground units. Whereas with Terran, you've got different shield upgrades or armor upgrades for your infantry, for your mech, and for your air. And then for Zerg, you've got carapace upgrades for your air and your ground. And then for Zerg, you've got the melee and missile attack upgrade. For the Terran, you've got the infantry and the starship and the mech upgrade. So like Terrans, like if you upgrade ground armor or ground weapons 1, it affects every single tech and everything you have on the ground. I don't know if it's whether or not it's balanced, but I guess that would probably be the excuse for having it a little bit more expensive than the other races.
So
by the time you upgrade shields, go ahead.
In the panel that Blizzard did when they're talking about where they're going with multiplayer balance, I think they pretty much just said that Protoss in general has felt a little bit weak, but they didn't really pinpoint any specific area where Protoss is weak. They just, very generally thought that they were weak, and so this is like supposed to be like a very broad buff to Protoss. It's not a very significant one though. Like
it's not broad at all.
I mean, it'll help a little bit, but like we're talking about very few resources at these timings. Like
now I have 50 more minerals.
Yeah, an extra probe.
Yeah, like
I would have said 56 probes. If I would have 56 probes, 55 no less.
So like if you get 3-3, then you're saving 150 total. Like, and by the time you get 3-3, you're like on a 3 or 4 base economy. So like at this point you've got 150 extra minerals and gas. So it's very small. It might help hit timings a little bit, but that's pretty much what they were thinking. They just wanted a tiny little catch-all buff.
Yeah. Now the other change.
One more thing though. The plasma shield one though. I disagree with what Destiny said on that. Everything else I thought was good, but the plasma shield one, like that's just like kind of a useless upgrade. That's like you only get. I mean, even when you have like 7 base Protoss Supreme late game, a lot of times you don't get that 3-3 or that 3 plasma shield because it's so ridiculously expensive. I'm glad that the first one's lower. I think that's a big part of this, is with the first one lower, we're going to see at least +1 plasma shields a lot more than before.
Yeah, definitely.
Because 200 gas is like a hard pill to swallow. 150s actually feels a lot easier earlier in the game. So we're going to like see that more and just kind of use it a little bit more, which is something that obviously they do often, is like over buff something, or at least make some change to make people look at it and be like, oh, okay, let me try this.
Probably
so we
still
can
not against Terran,
learn more about it. Yeah,
wasn't
against Terran, it's still not
it was
gonna
similar in Brood War 2 where no one grabbed the shield upgrade too because it was so expensive, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Or am I totally? Yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Now, I believe it might have been you, Jeff. It might have been someone else, but you guys were pretty upset when the Ghost didn't get a change in the latest patch. So now we're going to be seeing the EMP radius decrease from 2 to 1.5. Is that enough, Jeff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think one funny way to approach this is TLO actually tweeted today saying, I don't usually complain about things because he fucking plays Terran. But this one is absolutely ridiculous. Or actually, he was okay with it. You know what? I don't want to mince words. I misspoke. He was okay with the EMP range, I think, actually. Radius, rather. He was actually upset about the upgrades. So My entire point's shit at this point in time. But I would say it turns out it's a 44% decrease, something like that. And this is going to spiral the whole chat, by the way. Say goodbye to the chat. They're going to be doing that math for the next half an hour. It happened on Inside the Game. I was like, it's a 25% reduction. It isn't. It's this whole fucking thing, and they're going to just go off. It's hilarious to watch. It's huge, though. It's a big difference. It's a very much so big difference, and I'm pretty happy with it. But then my happiness was immediately met with what they're talking about for Heart of the Swarm, and we'll get into that in a minute, obviously. But yeah. I can't help but to mention it here. It's to have the ghosts like have a cooldown for their cloak as opposed to actually using up mana, and it's like that's just so fucked up.
Yeah. Tyler, what are your thoughts on the EMP
well,
change?
It's a big change. It's way bigger than the upgrade change for sure. Yeah. It's a big difference in area, and again, I think what Blizzard was saying in the panel was that EMP was just doing straight up too much damage. Like, it's not uncommon for EMP to do like 1,000 damage, just burst straight up, and it's like the most damaging spell in the right situation. You know, you can spread your units before it, but it's not like a duration thing like Sonic Storm where you can run out of it. It's, you know, once it hits, and so they just felt like it was doing too much damage, and they had to reduce that. And so their answer for that was radius decrease. So we'll see how that goes. I feel like maybe they should just decrease the amount of shield damage it does and keep the radius similar, because I was okay with the way it interacted with spellcasters, like taking away their energy. But the radius decrease is a nerf to both shield and energy attacking. So if they just reduce the shield damage, you know, it might be a little more fair. And I think this is pretty extreme, but I guess we'll just have to play it if it goes live and see how it plays. But
yeah, I think
I'll take it. I'll take it. It's just
I'll take a shot of it
for now. Yeah.
You guys
they're
can
still
see
going
the
to have
change
10 ghosts. Like they're going to code everything still
on the stream right now. So this is this is right now. See, it hits all the stalkers, and then in the new one, it hits every single one except for like 4. That's a pretty tight group of stalkers there. So, I mean, is that enough now that you guys have kind of seen it and what it'll do in action?
It'll help early game a little bit more, but the later the game goes, when they have 6, 7, 8 ghosts, they're still going to hit everything, right?
Yeah, that's probably.
You know, I actually really like what Tyler said about it. I actually thought the better way to balance it would be doing less shield damage, because it's like Psystorm is supposed to be like the thing that damages, but it turns out to be that damages EMP a lot more. So that's what I thought that they were going to end up doing with it, and what I probably would have tried if I was the balancer or something. But something obviously did have to be done. EMP is really, or ghosts in general, are really the only thing in the game right now that feels like it might be too powerful. And I think what's going to happen with this is, if this goes in, there's going to be a lot of bad Terrans that start losing way more games because they don't get every single High Templar like they normally do. No, I'm serious, man. This is actually a truthful. I'm sorry, because there's going to be bad Terrans listening that think they're really, really good, and you're going to miss more, and you're going to get Psystorm more. But so I think a lot of people are going to be upset about that, but something needs to be done, so we may as well try this for now, and if it doesn't work, maybe revisit doing less damage to shields.
Right. And then Destiny, I mean, as a Zerg, what do you think about the change? Is that going to help you at all, since you are the main Infestor user out there?
I don't think it affects Zerg too much. I mean, Infestors are bigger than Stalkers, aren't they?
I think so.
In terms of space to occupy, and looking at that, what you just linked in that last one, it's not that big of a difference. I mean, you shouldn't have 10 Infestors clumped up. Infestors don't work the same way as like a tight ball of Sentries or High Templar are.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't think it'll affect that too much. I think one of the nicest things about it versus Protoss might not even be so much the radius, but the fact that it's also a secret nerf to the range of the EMP. I don't know how much this happens in TVP, but I know that in Zerg vs Terran, sometimes I'll try to snag Ghosts or Marines or even tanks on the edge of a fungal, and if Terrans try to do the same thing with EMP, they're going to have to get a little bit closer to, you know, whatever you've got before they can snag that High Templar on the end of an EMP.
Really good point.
That's a good point, yeah. And I'll just be the voice of constant not happy enough. I'm sorry, but
You're so upset, Jeff.
well, I'm not upset. It's nice.
spoiled,
This is a
Jeff.
straight up buff for Protoss, but like Tyler said on both points, it's like that aunt that sends you, a sport jersey from like 3 years ago, and it's like still nice. It was really cool that you did that. I appreciate it, but I'm not gonna ever wear that. Like, it doesn't fucking matter. So I can't help but to be a little bit worried. I mean, the big issue is that when you watch Select against Templar, none of the Templar get in range of his army. They just never do. Snipe kills them every time without a fault. They never miss. The EMP versus Sonic Storm, way too heavy in the risk reward in favor of the Terran. Like they only have to hit one to shut down all your Templar. I mean, we've been through this again. We don't have to do this over again, but I guess my main point is I think the Ghost still needs to be looked at. This is not like, oh good, they fixed the Ghost. I don't look at it that way at all.
Well, I think that's a good point to end on. We're going to go commercial, guys. When we come back, it's time for the fun part of State of the Game, at least the part that I'm looking forward to. We're going to be talking about all of the Heart of the Swarm changes, from the units to the different things on Nexuses to Jeff probably bitching about every single one of them. So, guys, when we come back, Heart of the Swarm stuff. We'll see you then. I guess I have to link this to you so you can be a part of the discussion, man. Even though it's in the show notes that I linked to you, rather.
Leaked me show notes.
I did leak you show notes. All right. So, Heart of the Storm, of course, was revealed at BlizzCon this past weekend. Let's just jump into it. Let's start with the Protoss real quick. Take a shot of the desktop. Let's get a quick look at the replicant. That's what it's going to look like, guys. And this is what it's going to do, as I stumble through. Oh, it's one back. All right. So it is going to not attack. This is the one unit that can copy a non-massive targeted unit. Yes, including workers, including abilities and upgrades in your vision, possibly infinite range as long as you have vision of the unit you're copying. So this could actually just do, like, there's actually unlimited possibilities for that, actually. It's actually just insane. I can't stop saying actually enough. So, Jeff, you actually don't like it. Why?
Well, okay, so what you just read is that you have to gain vision of the unit, and then you replicate it, and then it becomes that unit with all its upgrades, right?
Yes.
Do you actually have to be in a certain range, or can I have like an observer across
Infinite
the map
range.
that make
It's
it?
infinite range, yeah. Observe across the
Okay.
map.
That's
You could
awesome.
actually
crazy, man.
replicate an SCV, make comsats.
No, I know. I was
orbital
chrono
command.
boosting out fucking mules and stuff, man,
Yeah.
when I was playing at BlizzCon. It was
Yeah,
the sickest
that was
thing I ever
pretty
saw.
silly.
I don't know. I don't know that I hate this unit. I just think that it's a mess for balancing. I mean, I'm imagining in a PVT replicating 5 Ravens, dropping PDDs in every single battle, which shuts down everything, and then launching a few Hunter-Seeker missiles into the bio ball. And I don't know how I lose that game. I don't know how I lose that game. And then people are like, well, it costs 200, and it's fragile until it becomes something. And it's like...
Well, no Terrans make Raven, man. Not even if you... I mean,
Yeah, that's
not
a
even
big flaw in that
20
Okay,
GT,
so
they're
they
not
don't make
gonna a
Ravens. I make siege tanks. Siege tank Colossus. Wrap your head around that for a moment.
There's use of it right now on the
What
stream.
the shit do they do about that?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but they
it's-
might not make siege tanks either. I
You
mean,
know,
that's a concern
Ghost-
of Blizzard, though, is that they don't want the replicator to discourage people making units. So like, yeah.
I'll
Also, it said-
I'll EMP all their medevacs. I'll EMP their
It's-
ghosts.
Does it get all the upgrades even if your opponent hasn't upgraded? Can you imagine
Yes.
replicating
Yes.
siege tanks as soon as your opponent builds his first tank, and then you're sieging his base when his siege upgrade is like 1/10 the way
Yeah.
complete? That'd be pretty funny.
Well, they might have
Sounds
to
like
make
a
it
thread
like
you should make on Team
cost
Liquid
war
right
or
now.
something.
In the
But,
strategy section, for sure.
Actually, my favorite thing is to think about is like, for instance, if you do it to a Banshee, you get Cloak.
Yeah.
So like, if someone's
That's
1-1-1ing
crazy, man.
you and you just like make a couple Banshees, then suddenly they are screwed, man, because they have all these Marines without stim. It's like, actually, it's kind of neat because it can like hard counter something like a 1-1-1 so hard.
I kind of feel like...
But then again,
Well,
of course, it is like
I
force
think-
supply.
I think you say neat from the perspective of Artosis, who like literally, if I made the Super Ultra Colossus that shot 8 lasers and flew across the map, you'd be like, that's a cool unit. I envision it doing really well in the matchup, and it'd be like, yeah, because you'll never lose again. That's what the Replicator is like.
Well, I don't know, man.
I think it's going to break strategies right in half.
It would certainly break some like that, for instance, but they might have to make it so that it doesn't get upgrades or something. But then, of course, like a siege tank would be useless to replicate. You can't do massive units already.
Imagine
to be fair, the cost is pretty prohibitive. I mean, 200 isn't something where you're not just going to have 10 of them. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just something to keep in mind. I still don't know if I actually like the idea of the unit, but
I'll tell you what. I will not argue against you guys with this unit. Like, if you think it's okay, I'll join right on that boat. Destiny, well, dude, if I can get you on paper right now.
Let's say that if you've made 2 replicators, right? That's 400, 408 supply. Now, your opponent in he's Terran, okay, and he's just going Marine, Marauder, Medevac. Now you have 8 supply and 400, 400. That is garbage. What are you going to do? Make a Marauder?
No, I'd make 2
You're going to make a Medevac?
All his Medevacs.
You can make 8 SCVs and then do a really powerful one base all in.
Dude, if he hasn't made a Ghost yet, and then you have to actually sit there and be like, oh, this sucks. What if they don't make a Ghost and they hit a timing because I spent all this money early game because already PvT is so tight. So it's kind of interesting the decisions it makes you make.
Well, those are pretty
like,
weird.
When do I
ifs,
actually
Why not just make it late game instead of early game? I wouldn't make him early game.
Okay, well, I guess, yeah, you're right. If you make it late game, it's going to be obviously completely different, but then again, it eats up a lot more supply. They might have to put the supplier cost up. But
you can also imagine these epic struggles where the Terran finally does make a siege tank, and he spends the entire game like watching for observers on the outskirts of his vision because if the Protoss ever gets, he's got like 20 replicators sitting around.
Saw it.
And as soon as the observer gets there, so you're dropping scans. I don't know. It sounds like it'd be interesting. I don't know if it would be a good game, but it'd be entertaining as fuck to watch.
That's a good point.
I feel like it's not as broken as Jeff thinks it will be. I think it'll be kind of difficult. I think there will definitely... It feels almost inevitable to me that there's some strategy that it's just going to kill, and some strategy will cease to exist because of the replicator. I feel like the most reliable thing, which it would kind of be interesting, is like your 3rd base, definitely your 4th base, is definitely going to be made command center or hatchery like every single game. Like there's no reason not to. Like I would always pay 200 to be able to build my next expansion with a different race. That's just true. To have, maybe eventually that'll be a huge deal. Obviously getting mules is excellent. But then
crazy.
Just in a late game, like you can just
it doesn't
stall
switch your
out.
Supply though.
Yeah.
Everything you make is Protoss supply still, so you have to take that into consideration.
But you can just make better compositions for sure. So like in a late game, it could definitely be a legitimate strategy that your 3rd or 4th base is a different race, and then you just play defensively until you can make some... I mean, Protoss death balls are already bad enough. If you can add literally any unit in the game to them to make them better, I think they would be pretty sick. And so I think that could be a use.
Can you replicate the hero Thor?
No massive.
No massive.
Oh yeah, massive. Okay.
I'll tell you what, guys. Like I haven't played it. You guys tested it. I'm just looking at this and I'm saying, what the fuck? And you guys are like, no, it's not that bad. Okay.
The only things that you should actually be scared of here, though, are ghosts, getting a ghost, and getting an infestor. That's actually it, though. Those are the only ones that's scary for this right now.
And you can't even get that many of them. It's like
it's
going to be really hard to mass replicators.
Tyler, I only need 2 ghosts, man. Give me 2 ghosts.
2 ghosts won't help you.
Well, then
much.
They have to EMP your ghosts, man. And now they get to see how it feels.
EMP showdown, first of all. Which
you're going to be so sad about that EMP nerf because you haven't used ghosts because you're Protoss.
Gentlemen, challenge accepted. Protoss just got ghosts, and you guys are like, it's not that great. It's like, fuck if it's not great. There's a parade going on downtown. I feel like joining it now. It's great, man. I'm happy about it.
PvP would become entirely warp gate units, wouldn't it? Where everybody's sitting on 20 replicators waiting for the other asshole to turn out a Colossus first.
No,
nobody wants to actually go.
It's massive,
I keep forgetting. Well, Immortals, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess Immortals are cheaper in gas than the replicator.
It's a tricky unit because of the cost. Like if you're just, I mean, pretty much anything you copy, you're paying more for it. And it's hard to mass copy anything, so it's like you're only going to have a couple of that unit, and if your whole strategy revolves around using that unit well, then it's like a really risky thing to do, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, I can see that.
So,
I don't think it's going to bust the game in half. I think it's a wanky unit. I really do.
I really want to see them keep it in the game in some way, though, because I really want to see people.
It's a cool idea.
Yeah.
The fact that I can get some command centers later on for mules, because, I mean, Terran can do that on some of these big maps. It becomes quite strong, so why not let Protoss have the potential of doing that? And, of course, you're going to have this weird, really expensive time where you're actually getting that going or something.
I don't see it. Always supposed to have mind control, by the way. It was never Zerg, anyways. So
yeah,
this is like a return of the mind control, kind of.
Yeah, you guys never used it in Brood War, though, so that's why they gave it to the Zerg people.
One good use might be like a storm timing, because the second your Templar Archives finishes, you warp in one High Templar, and say you have like 3 replicators saved up, then you instantly have Storm researched, and then the one other guy can just be a feedback High Templar. You can put him in a different control group. I mean, that's very like niche though, and of course you're paying 600 for that when normally you're paying 150, 450, and it's kind of a tight timing, so that storm would have to be really important. But
yeah, I feel like this unit in terms of balance is probably impossible at this point to really think about how it's going to go, but the idea of it is actually, I think, one of the most interesting that they had.
It's really
that they announced at Heart of the Swarm, because the amount of things that you can actually do with it is almost limitless. So
the real fun with this unit is going to be the 4v4 teams with the insane 3 people massing replicators.
There you go.
One person rushing.
See, exactly, man.
The battle
That's a good point.
Shit like that'll be fun. So, all right, we'll do this for every unit real quick. Thumbs up, thumbs down, no explanation. Dan, thumbs up, thumbs down. Okay, you have to say, man, the MP3 version.
Well, you said thumbs up, thumbs down. I have a webcam. What do you want?
You're gonna say thumbs up, man.
Dude, I hope it comes in the game in some form. I definitely want to try that out in competitive play.
Destiny.
Yeah, thumbs down.
Tyler.
Gotta go thumbs down, actually.
Ouch. Jeff, do I even have to ask?
Thumbs down.
Thumbs down. All right, let's move on. The next one is the Oracle. Let's take a quick shot of it here. This is what it'll look like, guys. And this is what it'll do in-game. There's Dustin Browder real quick, but...
Bring on the Oracle.
This is something that, Artosis, you were actually... I have never seen you more happy.
I asked Dustin Browder to make sure this makes it in some form. This is my favorite unit from the new...
Oh, damn.
And this is so awesome.
I've never seen Artosis more happy than when he first got this unit, when Browder told him to make it behind him. And then he turned around, and you just had the best smile on your face, man.
He goes,
Dude, this unit is so cool.
Broke it.
It's so cool. And I don't know anything about the balance of it yet or how it'll actually play out or anything, but the idea behind it is so awesome. Like
this is the important thing, is the idea behind it.
Yeah, this is like, I've never seen anything quite like this before, and I've played so many RTS games. It's like, it's economic harassment without the actual harassment. It's like the anti-mule, you know? Instead of mining your minerals quicker, you suddenly mine them slower. And it's like, it's really cool, and I like want to try this unit so badly.
Let me read off the abilities before we jump into it anymore. So Entomb creates a bubble around a group of mineral patches, possibly to cover all patches, making them inaccessible for 45 seconds or until destroyed. Preordained reveals what enemy buildings are producing, and Phase Shift temporarily warps out buildings for 45 seconds. Players do not have access to tech for warped out buildings. Still blocks pathing, offensive to disrupt production, defensive to stop attack. Seems to be general consensus that you can't use this on capital buildings, CC Nexus Hatch. All right, go at it.
The second ability gives vision, though, and it lasts 2 minutes.
Yeah, 2 minute duration and short range cast.
Yeah, the details don't really matter so much because, you know, they're not balanced. I've seen so much discussion on people, like, looking at the exact numbers, and they're like, oh, I don't know if this is balanced or not. It's like, guess what? None of it is balanced.
None of it is
like,
balanced.
If you're not like just looking at the basic idea of what Blizzard is trying to do with this expansion and these new units, then you've completely wasted all of your time discussing it. So, like, the general idea with the Oracle is what matters. I mean, it's very fast. It has very little health. You know, all these numbers can be tweaked, whatever. But what they're trying to do, and what they said a lot, was they first of all don't want to add any units to the Death Ball. So that's why you have like the Replicator and the Oracle. because they're not useful units in your like main composition. Like they're more, the replicators for weird niche things and timings, and obviously the Oracle is for economic harass, and it adds nothing in combat. So that's the basic idea, and I really, really like that. The one thing they said is they're like, we didn't want to add another unit that kills workers because we already have 50 of those, and I'm like, yeah, and none of them are on Protoss. It's like, okay, so Terran still has like 6 different ways to kill workers. Now Protoss can just slow down your mining.
Another note about that second ability, I could have sworn I read this. I never got to test it. Is that like if you cast that whatever on like a Roach Warren or whatever, and the Zerg has no access to the Roach Warren for 2 minutes, not only are upgrades stopped, but you don't have the ability to produce units that that building would allow you to produce. So if you cast that on like a Roach Warren and a spawning pool, then for 2 minutes the Zerg won't be able to make Zergling or Roaches.
It's that spell is 45 seconds. The Vision spell is 2 minutes.
Yeah. Oh, those are separate spells. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but 45 seconds is still a lot.
It's 30 seconds less than what you were saying. It's still pretty
Well, they'll
bad.
have to tweak all the numbers, of course, but like the idea behind this unit makes it like infinity times my favorite new unit. Like
Plus,
I will kill to be able to use something with this idea behind it. It's so neat.
It has 80 HP, 20 shields, but isn't it like Dan, you were saying it's like the fastest moving unit you've seen?
It's at least as fast as a Phoenix. It was zipping around, man. I could not believe it, which is perfect because, I mean, it's going to be expensive and out of a robo and stuff, so like, you're going to need to get out of the way of Vikings and mutas and stuff.
Yeah,
it's going to be something that's used by like really high APM, good multitaskers, just to like whittle away and gain little advantages. But it's like an active unit, which is actually can do so from far enough away and has a few different things it can do. It's just so neat, man. I love it. Let's hear why Jeff hates it.
Yeah, Jeff, let's hear why you hate it. Let's go.
I don't know about Dan saying it gives little advantage. Shutting down a base for 45 seconds. That's
you can kill the bubbles
pretty
though,
big.
can't you?
If it's fully saturated, the current numbers, it prevents 500 minerals from being mined.
But that's
there
if you don't
fuels.
notice it, okay? And
Yeah,
obviously
if it's full
that's
duration.
really good. But you can kill it off if you have some units nearby. Those things don't have a ton of hit points. Someone said that if you attack it with like SCVs, then you lose a total of like 150 minerals or something like that. I don't know the exact numbers, but anyways, those can be tweaked. So it's like trying to argue the current balance of like what they're using in the Blizzard office where people are not pro gamers. It's hard to do, but the fact that like it's going to tax your opponent's multitasking, not in a way that like ends the game, but gives you a small edge to show why you're a better player. That's like exactly what this game needs.
You're winning me over. Like I like that it's low health. I like that it doesn't have an attack, so it does have a specific purpose, and that if you don't use it to that purpose, it's actually dead weight in your composition. So it would actually, it's going to hurt a lot of players. So I think my problems with it are as follows. If I put my PR hat on for Blizzard, this is a nightmare for noobs. It's going to make a lot of players, they're not going to know why.
I feel like everything in Heart of the Swarm is going to be a nightmare for noobs, man. Like everything that they've introduced just seems...
Well, we'll get to that in a second, but I mean, for this unit specifically, it's harder to use, it doesn't contribute to fighting, and it's pure harass. And those are all things that I think noobs do not enjoy as much. In fact, they unenjoy it. That's the part they dislike the most.
Yeah, they don't have to make it.
They don't have fun.
Really like,
guys, let's
I really like.
Jesus Christ, man! Like they just won't make it. Like that's not the logic that gets applied across Blizzard. When noobs don't like something, it's problematic at the pro levels. We should learn that by now, right? Like they're not balancing this game.
They
for
will
the
love
pros.
the shit out of it when we have Sage flying around with 3 of those and Artosis commentating. You kidding me? Those noobs are gonna eat that thing up, man.
And technically, noobs don't make High Templar Infestors or Ghosts right now. Maybe Ghosts to shoot at things.
I'm just telling you that's one of the concerns. I mean, the only other concern I have is, in my opinion, and I'm not solid on this. Obviously, we need to play it, but that's true with everything else. I don't necessarily know that I like that it has both the phase ability, where it shuts down buildings, and then also the ability to close out minerals, because it's too much of a Swiss Army knife. Like I would always go Oracle, because there's no reason not to. And they kind of self-fulfill themselves. Like there's if they show up to a base, unless you have units there, they're gonna fucking shut down that base. There's no question about it.
I think they did that for a reason, though, and they just have to make them the right cost, because let's say you have one and someone builds like a missile turret or maybe even two outside each expansion. It's like this is something very common. We all had to do this in StarCraft 1. You had to build those turrets to stop like drops or HT drops or whatever, or reavers. So people might have to do that. And the thing is, if they just do that, maybe that just eliminates the unit because it's so low health. So the fact that you can wait for it to charge up and it's still going to be at least somewhat useful, that you can fly in and do that, I think it was smart of them to put those two abilities on there.
All right.
There's also the opportunity cost of building it too, if it's coming out of a robo facility. So.
Thumbs up, thumbs down. Artosis, say it this time. Don't do it. Or do both if you
Super
want.
thumbs up.
Steven?
Yeah, I'll thumbs up it.
Tyler?
Thumbs up.
Jeff?
Thumbs up.
All right. Across the board.
You guys won me over. I just hope it's not really bad.
All right.
Oh, Stargate. Just kidding. Stargate.
It's a Stargate.
I hope it's not really bad too, Jeff.
Yeah. All right. Next unit is the Tempest. Let's take a quick shot of it real quick so we can show you guys what it looks like. And this is the big area unit. You can see right here just how well it destroys mutas, but it doesn't really do anything else other than that, as far as I know. Artosis, you're the one that played Protoss. Did you make this?
Yeah, I made actually a ton of those, and they
Holy
just
shit.
seemed pretty good. You know,
Is this a Mega Man video?
Wow. Yeah, it kind of is. I don't know about this one. This one's a little bit harder for me to get my head around. Obviously, Protoss is kind of in need of some decent anti-air against something like mutas, like I guess specifically mutas.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that they're trying to put something in there. I mean, it looks cool, and I don't know how much I like it, though. As just something that hits air. It does hit ground, but it does like a lot more to air.
Yeah. So it does 22
kind of
damage,
like,
large splash air, 35 damage, single target to ground.
That's not too bad,
300,
actually.
and it has
35.
300 HP, 150 shields. And it does take the fleet beacon to make it, I believe, on tech.
What's its range, though?
You know, it doesn't have that in here.
Well,
Sorry,
that's like a big part of it for me. Like, could that be a finishing unit? You know, like carriers were in StarCraft 1, or like, well, I guess I don't know that we have real finishing units right now with Protoss. Like maybe just the composition altogether, but I don't know.
But it's not
I don't know about
great
this one.
against ground, actually. Like, its attack speed is really, really slow. So I think like Stalkers and Hydras pretty much own it, and like Marines definitely.
So it's 6 ground,
So-
4 air, by the way. Sorry to interrupt.
Okay, yeah. So like, it would definitely, you'd have to, you know, have a good composition with it to support it, because a good ground army will definitely kill it. But it's actually, you know, finally giving Protoss something good in the air.
Yeah.
So I think it's mainly an anti-air flying unit, which Protoss is the only race that doesn't really have that.
But it costs 300, doesn't it?
300, 300, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not sure. Let me talk about the carrier, because this is related to the carrier.
So the carrier's been
This is the
removed.
carrier
Just to,
replacement.
yeah.
Yeah, it was removed. And now we have the Tempest, and I'm not sure that I don't want to be too mean, but I don't know if like the StarCraft 2 design team knows exactly all like the subtleties of the control of the carrier for StarCraft 1. It's a lot different than StarCraft 2. I think I may have even talked about this before on State of the Game. But the way that the interceptors move out, and the way that you move the carrier, and focus fire things with the interceptors is so much better in StarCraft 1, and it like gave the carrier a longer range, because you know, you got your, and then you can like move your carrier back while focus firing stuff like really, really well. And then the other thing was, as long as the carrier kept moving, the interceptors never returned inside the carrier. Like you couldn't see them because they were under the carrier. But as long as the carrier never came to a complete stop, then you could always right click on something and every single interceptor came out instantly, like even faster than in StarCraft 2 with the research upgrade. So there was a lot of like good micro that went into it in StarCraft 1, and in StarCraft 2 like none of it's there. It's a very like simple kind of like attack move unit. You can focus fire too, and then that's about it. And so it would be a huge buff to like make it into a StarCraft 1 carrier. But like that was never done. Like they haven't given the carrier any buffs, and now they're like, oh, it's not used. Like I find it kind of confusing that they see that the carrier is underused, and then they just don't try to do anything with it. I think maybe they see Vikings and Corruptors as too much of a counter that the carrier can never overcome. I don't know, but I would have liked at some point to at least seen something done for the carrier before they're like, oh, we're thinking about removing it now.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually true. It hasn't received any changes since the game came out, right?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Moving's just really drastic. Carrier's like it's a mainstay unit in StarCraft 2. Like anytime you look at a lot of the cinematography from the videos and stuff, you see the carrier launching its interceptors. You know, I don't know if sentimental value is a reason to keep a unit in the game, but it's kind of weird to remove it, I think.
You know what they should put on the PTR is just make interceptors free and always building. Like, seriously, because that's the problem with carriers, I think, is that those interceptors die in 2 seconds. It's the most insane money.
How much does that cost? Is it 25 minerals?
It's like 25 minerals, and it's like that actually will eat up your money so quickly. So if they were actually free, just put it on the PDR and see if people can actually make the carrier something worthwhile, because everything kills them so quickly, and carriers are so terrible right now in StarCraft 2.
What do you think to put on your dev hat, Artosis, what should be the recharge timer? 5 seconds, 10 seconds? What's good? For the interceptors to build, yeah.
I would just keep it at what it is. Just make it free and make it like autocast like it is, so I can just like have carriers out and just non-stop interceptors, because don't worry guys, if you have enough Marines, those are still just going to die instantly, you know.
That's true.
And same with anything else, you know, it's still going to be hard to play against Vikings and all that, but it would be like when Blizzard made the Warp Prism way better. Like everyone on Earth uses Warp Prism right now. If you give the carrier that try, even just on the PTR, and you see people starting to use it, even on the PTR where not a lot of really top-end players play.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that is going to what Tyler said, like a better idea, just being like, this didn't work, bye, you know?
To be fair with that, too, the broodlings that broodlords shoot don't cost any minerals, so I mean, that wouldn't necessarily be the most outrageous thing you could do to interceptors.
Good point. It's kind of funny that we brought up Tempest and then we go to the carrier.
Well, it's completely relevant.
I mean, I think that kind of speaks to it, actually, more so than we think.
What we're really discussing here is like the future of StarCraft multiplayer, like just in general. So,
well, carrier is more interesting too than this thing.
Well, then for sure, yeah. I mean, this only has
giant
2 attacks.
Reverse snow globe scorpion thing. It is. It's a more interesting unit. It's got like little units that come out of it. It's kind of like a cool mothership type thing. This new one, it is like a mothership, and it's pretty big and does a lot of damage. But I don't find it like intriguing. I love a lot of the Protoss units in that one. I'm like, well, I'm sure I'll build it if it's good, but it doesn't excite me to build.
All right. Well, we got to cut to a quick commercial, but Jeff, we're still going to get your thoughts, and then we'll get everyone's thumbs up, thumbs down on the Tempest. And then, of course, we still have the Terran, the Zerg, and all the other changes, because there's so many. So guys, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, guys, Jeff, we didn't get your thoughts on the Tempest or the carrier being removed, so feel free.
I'm trying to embrace the attitude that Tyler had earlier, and I think it's a really good point, which is just that these are the concepts. What they end up actually being post-beta release of Heart of the Swarm is going to be very different. So I'm trying to adopt that mentality, because they missed the mark with the release and the videos that they were showing at BlizzCon, like really, really bad. So it's hard for me to escape from like wanting to laugh at how bad that was. They're like announcing to the world these units, and they're terrible at the current state for the most part. Like I said, I think Dan won me over on the Oracle. I think the Oracle's pretty cool. The Tempest, 300/300 capital ship. like 5 shots a roach, from what I understand.
35 damage per.
It's really
shot of
slow
ground
attack speed though.
Really slow
Really?
attack speed. It's very
Not
bad.
great DPS against ground. It's good DPS against air.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
almost guaranteed to splash because the splash is huge.
It looks like it's literally made to make it so that mutas are not possible. Like if you go mutas and the guy shows up with 4 Tempests, you're just like, ah, fuck, darn gummit, you looks like I'm dead now. But that's
I think
it.
all Zergair actually.
Is it good against all Zergair? I mean, I guess the range is 4, so it's not that.
Wait, what
long.
else does Zerg have besides Mutalisks?
Well, if they want to go Broodlord and they're defending it with Corruptor, I think Tempest
That was-
would actually own that.
Yeah, that was a cheap shot of the Corruptor. Sorry, you missed that.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I mean, yeah, like, if you're going, like, Broodlord and Fester, like, I think Tempest will be good counter composition to that. Not sure, though.
We'll see.
Nah,
I
man.
mean, I
Infested
think you'll see
Terrans.
more. You'll see more Tempests than you'll ever see carriers. I do think that, right? Like,
Yeah.
Somebody in the chat
Sure.
said give carriers the Tempest air attack and then leave interceptors to fight on the ground.
What?
yeah,
Maybe.
Oh.
temporary.
Well, actually, Tempest was the name of the blue carrier that only attacked ground before the game came out.
I don't know. I'm indifferent. I want to see what it looks like at the other end. I like the idea of an anti-air unit. I do. Kind of. I mean, they also said that they're not trying to add to the death ball, but I'm looking at this unit and saying, why wouldn't I just put like 3 of these in my death ball, right? So that any kind of mutiling counter or something like that would just get stomped into the ground.
All right. Well, thumbs up, thumbs down. Artosis.
It's my least favorite in this one. The Protoss obviously needs some sort of better anti-air for the late game. I guess thumbs down. Can't thumbs up everything.
Destiny.
Thumbs down. It's just another attacking unit.
Tyler.
Thumbs down. I'm sorry.
In control.
I don't know. I want to be optimistic. Thumbs up. I just hope that they make it a good replacement for the carrier.
Right.
As it is right now, I don't think it is.
Well, it's that time of the show where we talk about Terran with 0 Terran
Wait,
represent-
there's
Hang on.
more
Wait,
Protoss
wait,
stuff.
next
Whoa,
session.
whoa. No, we're going to get to all those afterwards.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
We're going to go through the 3 races, do all the new units, and then we have the laundry list of changes to everything else
Okay.
that happens. So,
You don't think those aren't broken, Dan? I don't know what to do with you, man.
What?
The Protoss spells.
Oh.
They're
well,
so broken.
We'll talk about that in a bit.
all right. First unit for Terran is, of course, the Warhound. Why is this not a Goliath? Like,
It looks like they were trying so hard to make the Goliath, but they wanted it to not be it. And I think Dustin Browder played Mech Warrior like 2 weeks ago.
no. Oh, what was it? Robotron? This looks like something out of Robotron, man.
But the anti-air is
Yeah.
way different than what Goliath was. Like, this is an anti-light.
Well, this is kind of highlighting the ridiculousness of the Battle Viking. Or excuse
Reminds me of
Battle
But
Valkyries
these things are
from
about to
Brood War.
fight like 10 unupgraded Marines and 2 siege tanks. I don't think this really counts. Sorry,
It's
guys.
just showing the ability.
I like how they're spaced out.
Look
like,
at this formation. This is like a Julius Caesar army over here.
Remember, like single player Brood War where you'd show up and there's like bastion of bunkers. And like, we've got 2 Marines and an SCV and we're here to hold off the Zerglings. Like that's what it reminds me of.
I feel like they put so much effort into Terran in StarCraft Brood War, or in StarCraft 2, the original Wings of Liberty or whatever, that they like totally just shut down for Heart of the Storm. Like the person that I was testing things with was a Terran player. He built everything. I did everything with the Zerg. I don't remember like anything from the Terrans. I remember Goliaths and Firebats, and then like the Thor, you can only make one of them. That's all I
Yeah.
remember from the Terran changes. It's kind of
Oh, wait.
disappointing.
The Shredder.
I thought they took the Thor out.
No, it's
No,
now
but
like
let's
the
talk about
it's
that.
the
We'll talk
mothership.
about
We'll talk about
It's
that.
It's
but
the mother Thor now.
hang on. Let's talk about the
Dan,
Warhound.
so
Yeah, sorry,
excited,
sorry,
man.
yeah.
I heard its
Okay,
anti-air is shitty. I didn't get to test it. Did you guys get to play it at all? I heard the anti-air.
So here's what it is.
I
It's-
replicated a bunch of them, but I'm not really sure. You didn't make them flying units.
Here's it requires factory, anti-mech. Air attack is 4 damage plus 4 to light. Ground attack is 10 damage plus 10 to mech. 7 range on the ground attack.
It's
So-
splash, right?
It's
For
fucking
air.
weaker SCV if it's hit anything armored. It's like, like. No, that
No,
tick-
it does. It does plus to mech, which is kind of interesting because that means that specifically they've been listening to a lot of Artosis casts, and they realize eventually it's going to be only mech and TVT, so they're like, let's try to make it so it doesn't have to be only mech. So that's what's going on with that, just FYI. But, yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's like a new Goliath.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what I got.
The complaint was, from some of the guys playing, is that they said its anti-air is really bad, whereas the Goliath was
How
really
expensive is it?
It is... Hey, it doesn't actually say in here.
Because if you make its anti-air too good,
I'll wait for the
I mean,
chat
you can
to
just
catch
mass
up.
that in, like, siege tanks or something, and then it's like, whoa, what is this?
How much?
Well, it's supposed to be brought in so that TVT is more mech based. It was part of the reason for that. That in the battle Hellion. But
this is just an off question. Do Immortals and Colossus count as mech?
Actually, I think
Stalkers.
Colossus does. I think
I
Colossus.
think Stalkers, Immortals, and Colossus.
Stalkers do too?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Chat's all over the place. I can't get it.
I know, it's like some guy wrote 3550. I'm like, oh, okay, that seems like a pretty good cost.
But I like the guy in the chat saying, LOL JP, I don't know what you're expecting from this chat. I don't know, man. I'm sorry. I don't know what I was expecting.
I'm sure the game changes completely in Heart of the Swarm, but right now, like, the Thor was pretty integral to holding off Mutaharass and giving a real big push against Zerg, so I'd be kind of interested. This is not a replacement.
I mean, what will Terran do?
What?
No,
What will Terran do against Mutaharass?
It does splash.
Oh, it is area of effect. Okay.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
that's much more
Pretty,
sense.
pretty sure it's splash against air. Because what they were, I think Blizzard's explanation on this was that Thors, when you only have built one or two of them, they're pretty weak when they first come out, and it's too much of a, you know, like before you get them established, you're really weak, and then once you get them established, you're too strong against mutas, and so they wanted to like smooth that power curve out. So now they have, you can get the Warhounds out a little bit easier, and like have a smoother transition into your anti-muta build. I think that's part of their direction for the Warhound was.
Well, I mean, I guess that one's pretty... It seems like the Terran units are just not all that exciting compared to the Protoss units, so... Jeff, you're scratching your chin. Do you have any thoughts? Or should we just thumbs up,
It's a
thumbs down?
shameful copy from MechWarrior, man. I can't get over it. It's cool, though. I liked the Goliath from Brood War. I really did. I thought that was an awesome unit.
Yeah.
I like the idea of Terran having like a mech walker-based unit. And the Thor never really did it for me, because it was just... I don't know. It was just too big and too grand of a scale. I really like the Goliath kind of role for Terran, so I'm happy to see it making a reappearance. So I'll be rooting for it. I'm in its corner. I just hope it's not too ridiculously strong utility-wise. Like a unit that's strong against mech was, I don't know. Isn't that like the last thing Terran needed?
I don't know.
Well, does Terran need anything right now?
I would. Wouldn't you just like mix these into Marine Marauder? Pretty good, and then what do you do?
Wait for TVP.
Yeah.
I don't.
What?
I don't think they're worth it over
Yeah.
Marauders.
Probably okay.
Like I would rather just have more
Marauders.
Marauders. I think.
Yeah, there's that problem too, where you just kind of keep making Marauders anyway.
Yeah.
All right, thumbs up, thumbs down. Jeff, we'll start with you this time.
Thumbs up. I hope it does good.
Tyler,
Thumbs up.
Destiny.
Thumbs down. Stupid Goliath wannabe.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Artosis.
I'll thumbs up it slightly.
It's the only unit that I'm not actually just like super excited for. Everything else.
I'm not
is-
excited for it, but I think it's good for the game.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next up is the one that they leaked for the Terran, and it is the Battle Hellion. Let me back up here. This is what it'll look like when it transforms.
More than meets the eye.
And I think that they better have some. Oh, I don't want to see Browder. Okay, here we go. So this is, I
Now-
guess, what it'll look like against the.
Look at these three Hellions. They're not doing so hot, are they? But
But
if
oh
we
no, the
replace
best part is they're on
nine
Steps of
Hellion-
War, guys. This is
Yeah,
actually.
Steps of War. What?
Not
replace
just
them with
Steps of
9
War,
Hellions
but
in a ramp and 5 tanks or 4 tanks. Suddenly, they're
You
pretty
could add a
damn.
row of SCVs there, man, and it would have killed off this Protoss army. This is like a silly way to show it.
Is
Look
half
at that.
the army
Zealots
dead
are
before it even
almost dead
gets?
before they hit the ramp. They're almost dead already.
Oh god, I just find it hilarious. It's on Steps of War.
Look, ever had that problem where Zealots and Archons were busting your Steps of War ramp when you had 4 tanks and Blue Flame Hellions?
And all of the Hellions like die before the battle's even over, even with the help of 4 siege
You know
tanks
what?
on
I
a
wanna-
ramp.
If he had brought those Hellions down the ramp and microed in the middle of the map against those Zealots, he wouldn't have lost that many. I'm just throwing that out there.
Oh god. All right, 135 HP. Battle form slower than normal Hellion form. Blah blah blah. Similar to Firebat from single player. Attack does 8 damage plus 11 to light, and battle form has more health than normal Hellion form.
Cool.
So, does it? I don't think it does, but does it change from light to armored? Because I feel like
doesn't
it
say
should.
that here.
That is a good
It
question.
should.
Let's,
I feel like it
Right.
should because
It's better-
Immortals
it
and
should.
Lifeline the
Stalkers-
chat because they did really well last time.
I think it seems like they're subtly adding another way for Terran to troll you. Like, after they drop the mana meals, they'll turn all of the Hellions that just roasted your mineral field into, like, the walking firebats or whatever.
Look, I want to know something, though. Like, the thing on their head that, like, it goes like this when it fires. Does that mean that the splash, is it in a constant cone, or does it just follow the blue flame? Because if it follows the blue
cone.
flame, that is the crappiest, terriblest thing ever.
I'm pretty
If
sure
that's
it's a
just like an
constant
animation.
I think it's a cone.
Yeah, it says cone style
Okay.
attack similar to Firebat from single player. So
Right, because
I mean-
the animation shows different, but okay.
The biggest use
Yeah.
I see for this is when you have 15 or whatever Blue Flame Hellions and it's time to do the big end game fight. You know, your tank Blue Flame Hellion. Now you can turn them into Battle Hellions and you have so much more health and the range is less, but they're more efficient against Zealots and Zerglings.
It's actually really cool because it's going to really put people to the limit of, you know, you already have to know how many tanks you should have sieged and unsieged in certain circumstances. Now you're going to have to figure out, like, how many blue flames you want sieged or unsieged or whatever you want to call them, walker form or not. And by putting this in, I kind of think that, you know, this is definitely going to help people try to mech against Protoss more. They should be trying more already, but I'm not going to hold it against them. But this is like having that extra hit points in front of your army, I think, could help a lot too, especially if it stays light, because then it's like way good against the Immortal.
Yeah.
I like the idea of making it so I don't like the idea of like super specialized units. Like, here's the Hellion, like it'll destroy your entire probe line in 2 seconds, but it's absolute garbage against everything else in the game, except for like Zealots or I guess Marines. Like, I don't know, I feel like the Hellion right now has like a super special role and like it's absolute garbage in other scenarios, where at least some units are kind of viable in other areas, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. I think Terran did need more utility.
Yeah.
Maybe if they tone down the Hellion's ability to make you want to commit suicide if 4 of them snake into your base in the beginning of the game. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, this is a buff to regular Hellions because it's when, you know, when you build them and you only kill 20 probes and not 45, so you have to keep playing. They actually have a use for an army, so it's like you're going to see so many more regular Hellion openings
And,
with
I
Terran
I think
control back.
they should turn down something else if they're going to give it this second option.
Guys, it just came to me right now.
all right,
You
drop
have a
it.
medevac.
Okay.
You have 4 blue flame Hellions. 2 of them you put in regular Hellion mode, 2 of them you put in not. Then you drop them in a line going across the mineral patch. The back 2 will be regular blue flames, front 2 the other type.
Okay, never
You
mind.
just
I'm
catch
down.
everything,
Stop.
man.
This is horrible.
Over. I just figured it out.
Supposed to moderator for the Team Liquid strategy section.
Oh, God.
Post right now.
Poor
Yeah.
Teal.
It's cool. I think it's cool, but it's just kind of a. I didn't think the
Wait, so
Hellions
can like
needed
a
help.
battle Hellion be medevac healed and repaired by an STV at the same time? Because I bet people like Pride are already thinking like awesome like STV pull all ins now. With like
I call it the
the
battle
5
SCV.
hero battle Hellions coming to your base with 5 medevacs surrounded by 10 SCVs each that never die to anything in the game.
All right, thumbs up, thumbs down. Battle Hellion, Tyler.
Kind of feeling thumbs down.
Steven.
I just think it'd be funny as hell. We're gonna thumbs up this idea.
Jeff.
I'm gonna thumbs down this one.
And Artosis.
I'll thumbs up it.
All right. Well, now it's time for the shredder. This is one of the more interesting units because of how ridiculous it is. Here's the video real quick showing what it's supposed to do. And this is, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know what to say about it. It's actually just silly.
This video is the only video that's not exaggerated.
I know.
Yeah.
No,
Like,
this happened to me when I played
attack one of these with,
multiplayer.
like 24 lings and they just die, and it affects air too. Like
The roach one is more
air?
bonkers.
yeah, it affects air. Yeah. Holy shit.
Watch the roach one. This is the one that broke my brain. Like, I saw that and I was like, okay, Zerglings are trash. But then I watched this and I was like, okay. And then all the roaches pop.
It's crazy.
Well, this guy
man.
didn't micro either, man. You can actually easily...
Yeah, his micro is pretty bad.
He actually,
Is there another one? Or is that it? I think that's it. All right. Yeah, that's it.
I mean, here's some of the applications you can do with this. So, like on a map like Xel'Naga Caverns, you could literally block off counter paths. Like, a Zerg's not going to run through that. He simply will not. And then you
true.
funnel down their entire army into your army.
You can replicate a shredder, by the way, right? Did
Yeah.
anyone? Okay.
That's fine. We'll talk. I mean, that's
Wait, do
total
these take
balance.
supply?
Yeah, their units.
Oh, I didn't even-
Does not-
That's
yeah, it
fine.
says built from
Depots.
factory. I don't know what they're going to cost.
row of those in
Shredders
front of a
and
row of
depots.
siege tanks?
Yeah. I mean,
Drop 4 shredders in someone's mineral line. That'd be.
the fact
You
that
only
it
need
hits
2,
air,
man. It'll die instantly.
Its range is so big. It hits air. Its DPS is high. It's 20 DPS a second.
Now, I understand that they want to give Terran some way to control pieces of the map, like spider mines, they said, if I recall correctly. But it seems like redundant with a planetary already there. Like, Zlings already aren't killing a planetary, but now I also can't roll Banelings through to kill it. So I can just...
No, Dan, my question to you is what do you make to kill that? Broodlords?
Broodlords would be a good cannon.
You
But it
Broodlords
kills your broodlings.
obviously-
You're doing 20 damage to it each time. Like,
I was
I mean-
about to say you could neural parasite and then unroot it,
What?
but I don't even know if neural parasite has the range anymore.
Changeling. You put a Changeling in there and they all turn off, then you run in with your Zerglings.
No,
I don't-
what's a changeling?
It's a Marine.
It's not in Heart of the Swarm, though.
They don't know
Seriously,
it's not
don't.
there.
Heart of the Swarm.
no
Oh,
training.
Yeah, no overseer.
Dan's
That's
been
why they
stumped,
got-
man.
oops.
You have to use a Viper to pull a friendly unit
Yeah.
into the things to shut it down.
There you go.
There you go. That's how you do it.
And then you fungal the friendly, and then you come in and kill everything else, and then kill the friendly unit.
Destiny, you're
Hold on,
actually
I
like Neo
gotta-
from the
gotta
Matrix
ban
for the
you
strategy
all.
section. You are supposed to
Well,
be
he's
their
the only
chosen.
one that can read it, and he's also the best ideas, man. That's how it works.
3,000 dicks just blew their load right now. Oh my god. It's so smart.
Oh, God.
He's right, though.
If you can
I
see
mean,
the emails I get, man.
You know what, too? The ridiculous part, too, and I know these are just trolls, but it's popping up in the chat. They're like, here we go, Prototh and Thurkle Jerk. What Terran is going to defend that unit? You name me a Terran player who's going to look at that and go, okay, all right, I understand the concerns, but, I mean, look at it this way. How many Terran players have died from counters of Zerglings? I mean, how stupid is that? You know what I mean? Like, fucking Zerglings killing me? I don't think that's right, okay?
Dude, listen to this, right?
Is that like a pain user impression or something, Jeff?
I don't know what
You
it
can only
is.
afford one of those to block off that back Xel'Naga Caverns path, and they decide they can run Zerglings through. You just have 2 depots out of their vision, and they get up there and there's a wall and they die anyways. Sickest trap, man. You never build 2 of those. You only build 1.
They should have like a choking animation for when they die too, where they're like, ah, they're like pounding on the depot, and the guys on the other side laughing.
So, is this a good unit if it's toned down? Because obviously it's pretty crazy right now. But is this? I mean, is this
toned
some?
way down?
Yeah, I mean, is this something that you guys, in terms of utility, would you like this in StarCraft Heart of the Swarm? StarCraft 2
I
Heart of the Swarm?
love the idea behind this. It seems like a little bit redundant for this race that has planetaries already.
Yeah, this
But I
needs to
guess
go on like a
also
different
it's
race.
a little bit different.
I want to see Dustin Browder 2012 BlizzCon go. All right, so you guys remember the Shredder? Okay, so we took the range of its attack, shrunk it down about 10%. I mean, it's 10% of what it was. Damage. Let's talk damage. It does 5 damage a second. It used to do 20. We're doing 5. Doesn't hit air, and it actually blows up and kills everything behind it every minute and a half. So you only have about a minute and a half of the shredder, then you got to move your base. It's kind of like a lava level. We built it in there. So go on. We renamed it the every fucking, like, shred fucking everyone type of thing. Like, that's the kind of toning down you have to talk about that unit. Like, we took this thing and we're stupid, and we made it, like, comprehensible. Like,
Oh god.
let's get a Terran player. Let's get a Terran. Go on Skype right now. There's someone blowing us up somewhere. He's like, I'll defend the Shredder.
Where's the Muslims not there anymore? I
He
don't.
would not.
I
He'd
don't
be like,
know, man.
listen, let's give it a chance.
Oh god. Do I even need to ask? Is this thumbs down across the board?
No,
Well,
you
hold
need to
on,
ask
hold
him.
on. I think its range is going to be a big deal because some things are just going to outrange it. Like Colossus is like doesn't give a shit about it, and like Phoenixes can lift it and just kill it before they can be killed, right? Because they're not massive.
But they're like,
And
they're like burrowed into the. Oh, I guess that doesn't matter, right?
You can still see it without detecting.
yeah, it's not invisible. So like Phoenix would be a pretty sick counter because like it's not like there's units nearby to kill it. Like the whole point is to like isolate the Shredder for the most part. But I think it comes down to like depending on what its range is, that's gonna kind of determine like what its role is because it has like 5 range and Stalkers and Immortals can outrange it. Then
You know
like,
how-
that's kind of silly.
Just a little funny side thought I just had is sometimes we have Zergling Muta base trade scenarios against Terran. You put 4 of those in
Yeah.
the fucking ground, you just let them be, man. Like have a barracks floating over it.
That's
All
true.
Yeah.
set.
All right. Thumbs up, thumbs down. We gotta go to commercial before we talk about the Zerg stuff. Artosis.
I give it thumbs up. I love the idea.
You're so dumb.
I'm serious. I love the idea, but well, it's going to be the hardest thing to balance. You think Replicator's hard?
Yeah.
This thing's going to be hard to balance.
Destiny.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it a thumbs up because Terran have cool shit like this that they never use anyway. So I'm just gonna hope they don't use it. We'll go ahead and thumbs up it.
Tyler.
You're gonna rue this day, Destiny.
I give this a thumbs up. I also like the idea. It's going to be hard to balance, but if
Jeff's
it
head just
becomes balanced, it's
exploded.
going to be awesome.
Jeff.
What the fuck just happened?
Your pressure, man.
You got a thumbs up?
Just thumbs up it, man. Everyone's doing it.
You want to fit in, Jeff, or not? You want to be a cool
I don't
kid?
think Dusty will be your friend anymore if you don't give us a thumbs up, man.
DBs and I go way back, son.
Yeah.
Let me
Right?
think. Do I like the idea? Well, it's a wide range of area of effect unit that shreds the fuck out of everything. It hits air, but its weakness is friendly units. No, it's a terrible idea, and in practice, it's a terrible unit. Thumbs down. And Dan, shape up. Come on. I expect more out of you.
All right, guys, when we come back, we're going to, of course, talk about the Zerg unit, the Viper, and the most retarded unit in Heart of the Swarm, the Swarm Host. But we'll be right back. Commercial break. See you guys then.
When you talk about the Swarm Host, by the way, we have to mention.
The Tripo. All right, so we're watching Tripophobia because we're talking about the Swarm Host.
Yeah. You get.
I guess I'll just show this on
If
there.
you have it, then you get itchy. Like, irrationally itchy. You have to scratch.
No, I'm not even
Go ahead
going
and show
to
this.
waste my time.
Wait, is this actually? Wait, this is a lot of description, man.
Yeah, you got to skip the start of the video and then
Yeah, it's taking
like
way too
2.5 minutes of.
Yeah,
Odds with constant, man.
Wait, what
None
is
of
going
this-
on here? Oh, those are like tadpoles or something.
Are you freaking out right now?
Oh, that's
this makes
pretty
people
gross.
scratch and shit.
Like a crackhead?
Ew,
Yeah,
that was
it-
kind of gross.
Yeah, that's kind of gross.
You
with
have
this.
it only if you get itchy. If you think it's kind of weird, then I think that makes you a normal person. If you get itchy by
Anyways.
looking at these images, then you have the thing.
All right.
God.
Oh, man.
Anyways, I apologize to the chat
that
for showing
shitting out
someone's
shit?
fingers, but we'll explain why we
Do
were
one
talking
in
about that.
16,084 people have that disorder? Because if so, JP, you just fucked up, man.
Oh my god, there's like fish coming out. There's frogs coming out of that frog. Out of its back.
Frogception.
That's probably where they get the idea.
That is. Man.
I'm not itchy. I'm just kind of grossed out.
All right.
Wait, if you had a trick nail whatever fear, wouldn't you have the same problem whenever you burrow or unburrow any unit? Like if you unburrow like 50 lings, wouldn't you have the same problem?
You don't use Zerg, and you never get detection.
Okay. Like it's like
God.
Terran, I guess.
They actually have the Swarmlord in that video. You seen that? That frog? That's the Swarmlord.
Yeah, that is. Well, before we talk about the Swarm Host, not Swarm Lord, let's talk about the Viper. I think my favorite unit. Here's the quick shot of it. And here it is in action.
Get over here!
There we go. Yeah. This is actually pretty awesome. I don't know what that was, Jeff.
Well, they gave Zerg the fucking, what was it called?
Dude.
Disruption Web?
Yeah, Disruption Web Corsair.
I have to admit that that unit scares me, man. Like,
Destiny 2012
Is it going to
only
be the
makes
year of the
Vipers
Viper?
and Infestors.
Yeah.
Why would you use anything else? Can you imagine a Brood War if somebody could use D-Web off of a Corsair, and then Maelstrom and Storm like at the same time? Like if Maelstrom and Storm are one spell, because that's what Fungal Growth kind of is, except not as strong. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I won't blame you.
you know,
Cry
I keep
silent
arguing
tears.
that like you have to look at the numbers and stuff to properly balance something, but even with my like positive outlook, looking at that Viper unit, I'm still scared, man.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
not sure.
Well,
That's
let's read. Let me go through
that's a lot
the
of
spells real
utility.
quick. So it requires Lair Tech, not a Spire, just a Lair. Grants permanent detection to a non-massive ally. This is on the Ocular Parasite. It doesn't say how much it costs. I think it was 50 energy. Abduct. It pulls units, friend or enemy to its location. 100 energy. A unit has 200. Unit has 200 max. I guess that's HP or something. I'm not sure what that is.
No, every
200 energy
200
max.
energy max. Every
Oh, okay. Sorry. Then the blinding cloud, which is probably one that Jeff will probably just hate, reduces range of all units. In cloud to melee range unit. In cloud unable to use energy-based abilities. Cost 100, 200, 3 supply. Has 200 energy and has 120 HP. I think this unit actually is like the most exciting when it comes to pro level play, just because of the abduct ability. But everything else is just crazy.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
The abductability is the meat hook from Han, which is weird
What?
because they're gonna
It's the
meat hook
scorpion
my,
hook, man. What are you?
Yeah, they're gonna get over here my Colossus, and then I'm
Exactly.
gonna mass recall my Colossus away, and then he done goof because I built 30 pylons in his base, turn him into fucking photon cans. We'll get to that in a minute, but it's gonna be the most hilarious battles where he's like, "Get over here, recall."
I'm imagining where you do like fucking you got like 8 ultras sitting at the side of somebody's base and they don't even care, and then 8 Vipers fly over and pull the ultras up into the main base, and then you I don't know. I think you could do a lot of.
Oh my god!
You could do some crazy shit, man.
Actually,
there's
your
so much
ultras are
stuff.
busy like dolphins swimming in the corner where they're just like jumping out of the like.
Oh yeah, with the
with
ultra burrow charge.
That shit was fun.
Shaking their mane. Oh, they're
Like
gorgeous.
completely honestly, like using the cloud plus fungal, I don't see how you can ever lose a game ever. Like especially versus Terran, like siege tanks.
What
like,
does Terran
become
do? Yeah.
irrelevant. Like, and I'm pretty sure doesn't the cloud prevent spells from being cast while under it too? Does it
Yes,
say that in
it
the
does.
description?
It does.
Tyler.
Yeah,
Units
like
in cloud
but it's
unable
not,
to use
well,
energy-based
Defiler.
abilities.
People compare it to the Defiler because it looks like Swarm, but it's not Swarm at all. It's Disruption Web entirely. But I mean, Disruption Web plus being able to
under
somebody
Disruption Web, you can't attack at all. This just makes it all range 1, all the ranged stuff, right?
Yeah,
Am I wrong
but,
on-
no, you're right. But I mean, what are you going to have in range 1? Like, why would you run up to it?
Well, no, you throw that on your opponent. Like, Protoss like hugs walls already. That's like how you play against Zerg. So you throw up a couple of those and attack in, and your stalkers are just sitting there like, oh no, these force fields are going to run out.
I'm just thinking about in 2v2, if you abduct a shredder or like 3 shredders into your opponents, that's actually just like the most broken thing ever.
I actually was able to watch the actual video. Dustin Browder did a video of what he was going to announce the Viper as, and it started off like this. They had to cancel. He goes, "So we got the Viper, okay? Really excited about it. We combined every spellcaster from Brood War into one fucking unit, and then like someone threw a can at his head. And he was like, what?" And they're like, "Don't start off that way. Just sneak it into the game." Zerg has every spellcaster,
It's true.
and a lot of them are combined.
I'm happy with abduct. That would take care of the Colossus
Well-
problem. I would just be massing roaches and vipers and then abducting all your massive units and then just A moving, A move, A move.
Yeah, you abduct a Colossus that's dying to roaches in like 1.2
Instantaneously.
seconds, and not just that, but it like wrecks all the force fields in its path too.
Yeah.
Here's
Sickest
the only
thing ever.
reason. Here's the only reason I'm okay with abduct spell, because there's going to be one Zerg in a competitive match that's going to misclick, and they're going to abduct the double down Thor, and they're going to bring that motherfucker closer to their battle, and he's going to win from the inside. He's just going to start opening cans of kick-ass all over the place, and then he's going to call down a barrage and just flatten the Zerg army. And Day 9's going to like start crying, and Wheat's going to like pull out his hair, and like it's going to be amazing. It's going to happen.
We haven't even mentioned the ocular parasite thing. This is basically the replacement to the Overseer. You can give detection to any unit. What do you guys think about that?
I heard it can only do it once, right?
It seems to be
do it
energy-based.
once.
Some sources say it can only be cast once per Viper. That's what
Did
it's
anyone
saying.
test this? Well, it'll
I
change
did it,
it.
but I didn't check to see if you could
What
do
do
it
you
once.
need to build a Viper? Just a layer,
Just
right?
a layer,
Just a
yeah.
layer.
Just layer tech.
And does
that's
it come out of an egg?
Yes.
I'm trying to imagine ZVZ with mass vipers against each other. It would actually look just like a MOBA, like just like Han or Dota, where you'd have these vipers flying, like trying to like hook each other into the other army before the other
look
guy
like
hooks
square
the other
dancing, man. Just they all grab each other and then switch sides. And
guy. We were trying to
go
grab
see
your
the-
opponent before, yeah.
It'll look funny, yeah.
So what I'm getting is ocular parasite abduct is good. Blinding cloud is just too good. Is that what you guys all agree on?
That cloud is pretty good, JP.
Yeah,
That's
it
pretty
seems a little
The hook's
too
a
good.
cool idea. I mean, I think it's like micro base, which I'm excited about because it's pseudo micro base. I guess like, we don't want to give the guys too much credit, but pulling a unit into a swarm of Zerg units, that sounds Zergy to me. That sounds kind of cool.
Think of how many games though. Like it's going to be so hard to balance this because there's so many games where like your opponent will go in ZVP like a lot of roaches and like this is the new Overseer thing. So what if they attack you with like one of these and then a bunch of roaches, some sick roach? I mean, normally you're holding that off with like a Colossus or two. I mean, not a Colossus or two, but an Immortal or two. They just like pull those right in and they die in 2 seconds. And it's like, whoa, this is. And then it's reusable, of course.
It also breaks defensive
be
force
hard.
fields. Like if you're defending a base and you've got force fields going down, and then the guy just swarms over you, like jokes on you, like you're fucked. Like you can sit behind your force fields all day, but you can't attack behind them.
Well, thank God they'll never get there because I'll be cannon rushing them with assimilators.
That's true.
All right, we'll get to that. We got one more unit, and then we get to talk about how good that is. All right, thumbs up, thumbs down. Viper, Artosis.
like the
Going to
idea
be
of
the
it.
hardest thing in the game to balance. I don't know if I even truly like the idea. It's like they made the queen, but it's like really good this time. I don't know, man. This is a weird one for me.
We'll come
I'm
back
not going to
to
answer.
you.
Pinky up.
Yeah, Destiny.
I'm gonna go ahead and thumbs up it because I want to see how they nerf it. I think that'll be the most humorous part.
Tyler,
Thumbs down.
Jeff.
Thumbs down.
All right, time to move on to the Swarm host. Here's a shot of it. Stay away from
Well,
the
hang
screen.
on. Warning,
Warning.
viewers.
Trichlophobia, people.
It does actually have circular shapes in uniform on its back.
All right, and
Some of the circles are smaller.
here's the video. And this thing actually just seems like I made these and it was just dumb. You have to have so
Why
many
was
of
it
them for
dumb?
it to actually be effective. It only spawns 2 and it's every 15 seconds.
Yeah, but those
Every
guys have
15
110 health and they do 14 damage.
And they attack
14
pretty
damage.
fast.
They do insane
They
damage.
attack super fast, but like, I mean, look how long, it didn't even do anything.
They're
Look,
free.
that's
They
like a
killed
pretty sick defense by Terran. They still killed that bunker.
That's 6 tanks there, 2
Well,
bunkers.
the
and
tanks
8
is
greens
probably
there.
what killed them, not
9
those
These
things.
things will destroy mineral fields. Like you don't know, like 14 damage, like as fast as they attack, is so sick.
We're going to see what is this called again?
Swarm host.
The
No,
Destiny 4 Swarm Host
Welcome to my
Hit Squad or
hard
something?
abode.
All right, quick rundown of the unit. 200, 100, 3 supply, 120 HP, requires infestation pit, does not require burrow, upgrade to burrow. Spawns 2 locusts, they have 110 HP, 14 melee attack, lasts 15 seconds. About every 24 game seconds, 17 real seconds, judging by the gameplay video while burrowed. It just doesn't seem like enough to me. I don't really know. It just seems
So-
kind
It's
of
a weird unit. It's a weird unit. Like
Yeah.
it's
It's a
They
unique
It could
idea.
be
idea.
For
a
sure.
really cool idea if the supply wasn't 200. Just gonna throw that out there.
How much is the supply for one of these?
3 supply for one.
3?
Like, in order to have these be effective, you can't just park 1 or 2 outside an enemy base. You're gonna
Yeah.
need like at least 4 to actually
they're
do any
expensive.
damage. Yeah.
Well,
And I mean, with
this-
4, you've got 12 supply tied up, and then as soon as one wave hits, like the enemy knows what's going on. It's like, oh, I wonder where those guys came from. Like they know they're gonna be bro close by. So
I mean, it'd
But
be kind of
if-
cool as like a bait unit. Like I'm out here, it's just gonna happen forever until you come out and fight me. You know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's
eventually
true.
I'll whittle you
Yeah.
down.
It puts a clock on them, so like you could see some new strategies with that. You know, there's all these really aggressive timings that Zerg does have, where they're sitting outside your base, and if you're smart enough to just sit in there and defend, you're going to be fine. But you burrow a few of those, it's going to put more of a clock on them. I like the idea of it. It's going to, I mean, I think they might have to be better than they are right now from the looks of it, but
If the unit is somehow if the unit can find a game where there's not a shredder, I think it'll be fantastic.
Yeah, what do you do, Shredder versus Swarm
With the
Host,
shredder,
man?
it's gonna be hilarious. Like
the infinite
forth,
kill shredder.
Go forth, my locusts, and they just
what
go forth,
tech
my
do you need
locusts.
for these?
Infestation Pit.
Okay.
So lair, and then...
Sir, the locusts seem to be continuously dying in that radiation field just over yonder. Eventually, he'll get tired of watching us die.
That one's pretty simple. Should we just thumbs up, thumbs down it, and get to the fun stuff, which is coming up, because I know
Thumbs
Jeff
up.
wants to talk about it?
I like it. I like it.
Destiny,
Thumbs up.
Tyler,
Thumbs up.
Jeff.
Yeah, I think it'll have some cool application.
All right, now for the biggest change in Heart of the Swarm. Collapsible rocks can be broken down to close a path, rather than opening it up like destructible rocks. Think about that for a second.
That's cool, man.
I can't help but to laugh. It's like,
Found a way to add rocks into the game, like on
Oh,
the
that's-
fly.
That's the neatest thing ever, being able to change the terrain of the map momentarily. Because like they had a few maps like that in Warcraft 3. I don't think they got pro play, but where like you could destroy bridges, but then they were gone.
Yeah.
But
do you know what,
like,
do you know what direction we're heading?
Hmm.
Eventually, in Attack of the Void, or Inside the Void of my whatever, they're gonna
What is
have
the third
avalanche
expansion
rocks.
called?
They're gonna have
Something of the
fucking
Void.
avalanche rocks, man. There's gonna be like a mountain overlooking a base.
dude,
in some-
these are actually
Legacy
really
of
cool.
the Void. There we go.
Because think about this, right? Like, let's say that there's just so many strategical ways to use them. You either use them to defend yourself. Let's say that they're at the bottom of your opponent's expansion or something, and you want to slow them down from moving out. You if you have a few units out there, and you know that they can't stop you right then, you can knock that down. It's going to take them a while to actually get out there and remove them and
It's
take a third
becoming
base
like-
reserve.
It's
It's
like
so
map
cool.
based. It's like Warcraft 3 now. Like,
I
and
almost.
then I can like run behind a bridge and hit a lever that releases a volcano of like lava down. It's like you fell for my
No.
trap.
That would be stupid. This is not.
You draw the
this is
line of
not
the rocks?
Batman. This is cool. I like this.
I feel like we're getting to like Bomberman maps. Does anybody remember Bomberman from the Sega, where you had to blow
Yeah.
all the rocks up with a bomb so you get to your opponent? And
That's
then...
some good shit.
I
All right.
think it's a nerf to force field, man. Like, Terran and Zerg are like, oh, we can cast force fields now. Like, I can already do that, man. If I build a sentry, like, I don't need these fancy rocks, man.
These fancy rocks.
But now you have more gas. There you go. Perfect. Instead
Welcome
of 6
back,
sentries,
Retro.
you can now get
No more
5,
T-Pain.
Tyler.
Wow.
You know how many more upgrades you can get with this new patch? Are you kidding me?
I know, man.
All right, changes to the existing units. We're going to start off with Protoss, but we're not going to get to it yet, Jeff, so calm down for 1
I'm
second.
excited.
Carrier removed, we talked about that. Mothership removed. Is anyone upset? Or
Just after they added the acceleration, man, I can't believe they're doing this
I
to us.
know.
Yeah.
Well, they have like an internal rule where you can only have like 1 hero unit per race per game. Otherwise, the Warcraft 3 people will get mad. So they gave
What's
it
the
to Terran.
Protoss hero unit?
Well, it was Mothership, and now this game it's going to be the Thor for the Terran.
Double down.
Oh,
Thor.
so then we're gonna have like a single queen.
Yeah. Next game will be like the Leviathan or something. The Zerg will get
there you go.
the
You've
Overmind.
spawned the giant queen. She
All
can
right,
inject
Jeff.
from a range of 9.
Jeff, there's a new Nexus ability.
Yeah.
It's called
Which
Arc
one?
Shield. It grants buildings at 20 damage versus light attack.
Oh,
as well
it's
as additional
20?
shields and armor, 25 energy, 20 seconds for early game defense. Defense, you can't use this for offense though. Requires gateway to prevent cannon rush abuse. Jeff?
Instead of making
So,
a
look,
forge, you make a gateway. What
this
the
is
hell?
actually
That's actually better.
No, the first game that I sat down, I played against Day 9. Of course, he doesn't want to lose or anything. He sees this, immediately puts 2 pylons in my base, and I lose. And before I can even finish my racks.
Yeah.
I mean, on
They
2-player
found a
maps,
way-
you actually just lose.
They found a way to yet again encourage and reward people for not using energy on their Nexus. Like that's the new era we're entering. For me, I cannon rush quite a bit. It's a big part of my PvZ. I don't have to do that anymore. I can pylon rush. I can assimilator rush. I can manor Nexus and start building pylons in their base. I can.
Hold on. Does this ability affect Terran buildings? If you were to replicate an SCV and make Terran buildings,
Now you've just broken the third dimension.
could you theoretically build 15 Raxes, lift them, and have 1,000 HP flying photon cannon armies, blackening out the sun?
Oh, that's true.
Base of your opponent.
I wonder if they actually...
Proxy Nexi built from next to your opponent's base down the ramp or whatever off the cliff, and then you would fly in 1,000 HP Terran cannons.
It's that strategy thread, man. It's
That
getting
sounds
to
like
you.
a Day 9 Fun Day Monday or whatever.
David Kim just pounded his desk and said, "Destiny." No.
Oh god.
I don't understand how we escape from when they announced these 2 abilities, this one, and we'll talk about it in a second, the mass recall.
Yeah.
I
Let's just
I
talk
looked at
about
that
it now.
and said,
We'll talk about it.
I just accidentally found out I'm going to win every tournament, ever. Or me and 15 other
They're going to
Protoss.
need some tweaking on that, obviously. They're going to have to make it so that, you can't do pylons or assimilators with that cannon thing. That's, just too good, man. What the hell?
Listen. Take the pylon in a similar way. That's fine. You fucking attack one of my bases, Dan. You show up, you're feeling all toe tapping, banana grin. Jeff's base is completely undefended. 30 zealots run in, cannon. My army recalls in. They just and your army's gone.
Okay, no, we're not talking about that yet. We're talking about the cannon one. The recall thing,
I make
we can
everything
talk about that
into
in a
cannon.
minute.
I make
Yeah, that's fine though. You really want to spend 100 energy on cannons? Every Protoss in the world sucks right now because no one uses Chrono Boost right. But it's like when you're using DTs to make them burn scans so they don't have mules.
I'm trying to imagine late game where the Terran drops on the Protoss and he can't drop anywhere because his base is entirely defended by photon cannons.
Dan,
what?
Are you under the influence of something? What has made you think that this is balanced?
What, the cannon one? If they tweaked it to make it just defensive, like it works on Nexuses, Cyber Cores, gateways, stuff like that, then all right, let's give that a try, man. But obviously the assimilator pylon one is whoa, what the hell is going on here? But seriously, you think that it's going to be too much? You think that let's look at your third base on Tal'Darim PVT, okay? You have a Nexus, maybe 2 gateways. You're going to make those into cannons, and that's going to stop a Marine Marauder Ball from killing it? No, it's
No, it
not.
helps. Dan, we're talking about...
it helps, which is what they want.
Dan, listen to me real quick. You're not able to do 2 things at once. This is going to be hard, but listen to this one. Drop play, muta harass, any kind of harass at all, Ling harass, Ling run-bys. They all get shut down by Nexus energy.
Yeah, but are you going to pool that much energy and not use Chrono Boost?
Late game Protoss versus X, when you have 5 Nexi and nothing to Chrono Boost at that point in time?
That's
Sure.
true. That's true. Well,
You can't harass. You cannot harass a Protoss.
I don't know, man. What kind of building placement are you going to have based on the range of this that you're actually going to stop 3 medevacs full of Marine Marauder? They're still going to run in and kill whatever photon cannons you have.
Yeah, it
only helps
stops
in
a
the
lot
early
of
game.
light. I mean, against light units, it's great, and against everything else, it's not so great. And plus, it delays harass. They see the cannons go down and they leave, and then they just come back 20 seconds later, and now you don't have any energy, so that they harass you 20 seconds later. I don't know. I think you're gonna burn through your energy quite fast and not actually accomplish anything if you're using this as anti-harass. I think Ling run-bys and a few isolated Marines here and there against mutas. I think if mutas really commit inside my base, then it would be worth to put a few of those up just because it burns through light units so fast. But other than that,
What did Jeff say earlier? You need macro Nexus now?
guys laugh, but it's gonna happen.
It's true.
If the energy is that much,
it will happen eventually. Not based upon the recall thing, because we have to get to that still. That's ridiculous.
Well, I mean,
based upon this one, like, yeah, we see macro command center every now and then. You know, we do see that. We see macro orbitals, and I mean, why not give Protoss something like that too? This one is not as good as mules or scans. This is a purely early game defensive. Maybe, as Tyler said, in some situations, useful in other ways.
Waypoint next time, like put one in a forward position where I can then warp in my entire army from another place.
Oh, okay. Well, we're not. You keep on talking about like a different upgrade.
Wait,
that we're not
you're
on
gonna-
yet. You keep doing that.
Just talking about
stopping control. You need to cool it, buddy.
One thing that I
In what situation?
I feel like I'm at a
is
crazy party. Like we're talking about
building-
like
You're gonna
this re-
build a offensive
Yeah.
Nexus. Wait for
And
it
then I
to
can
get
make it into a cannon.
75 energy.
One thing
How
that
is
our
that
tells-
easier than just moving your army there.
One thing that Artosis said that I like is I kind of feel like when you talk about all the macro mechanics, like this goes back a long time, Protoss kind of got shafted. Like the Terran have like the mules and the scans and all these decisions, and Zerg have like injects and creep spread, which like Zerg almost hinges on, and Protoss just have chrono boost. So the idea of getting to do something else with that energy is really cool. I just think maybe they made kind of the wrong decision here on what to do with it.
I think the cannon's fine.
Yeah,
I
the cannon
think
seems
recall is
fine
okay
if you take it off
it's
the simulator and pylon.
yeah. Tweak it a bit. I think recall will be. Let's just move into recall, and let me say, like, right now the radius is way too big. Like, it's a pretty massive recall still. I think it's smaller than the mothership, but it's still like, I don't know. You could get 20 units pretty easily, I think, and that's too much. I think it should be more, just not that strong. Like, you can commit some of your army, and some of it's gonna die, and some of it can be recalled back, or you can like do harass and have recall be your way out. But I think the mass recall that it is right now is too much.
Yeah, it's so good. It actually
Yeah, it's
so much-
ridiculous.
The beauty of Protoss right now is you kind of have to keep your army together for the most part, and you have to really be careful how you move around the map so people don't like run by you and do base trades and stuff like that. So like the power of just warping back and owning them up because you have a better army, that's like way too good, man. There needs to be something that can't be exactly that.
Yeah, and anytime you get caught out of position, if you have like 2 nexuses with at least 75 energy, you're never caught out of position because you just leave. Like that's pretty sick. Like, okay, they use all their Viper energy to get this like sick surround on you, and you're completely dead. You just leave, and now you have no Nexus energy, and they have no Viper energy, and you just kill them.
I also hate the idea, and this is kind of like a separate thing. I hate the idea of like rewarding kind of sloppy play sometimes. Like sometimes I feel like when you're harassing Terrans in certain regards, and they like haven't been keeping up on their macro, all of a sudden they have like 7 scans. And people are like, "Well, he was saving scans." It's like, no, I don't think so. Or like when the Terran takes the gold, all of a sudden he drops 12 meals on it. It's like, oh well, the Terran was just saving those meals with the gold. It's like, fuck you. Like, no, he wasn't.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's like all of a sudden, like the Protoss is harassing, he gets so caught up in his harass. Is like, oh shit, I didn't chrono boost any of those last upgrades. Oh hey, I'll just recall. Like, it's okay now.
to me that is far and away the least issue with that. The biggest issue for me is any fucking base you show up to could potentially instantly have the entire army of the Protoss player. Like,
Yeah.
Unless you
how
have
does
EMP.
the Protoss out of position? The EMP the Nexus.
Yes.
There you
Kinda
go.
cool.
Why not?
They like made. Oh, you know what? Tyler just balanced it. Mass recall. Fine.
Like,
And then Zerkler's like, "What do we do? I don't. Maybe,
think of-
maybe you can piss that purple cloud on it. And now it can't mass recall. Who knows?"
Terran's like, we got this covered, man. It's not a problem. Like, you can reduce the radius. I don't care. We can still EMP or
Still
Nexus.
got it. Okay, we'll go to a quick commercial. We'll come back, talk about the last Protoss thing. We'll let Jeff actually give his thoughts, his real thoughts, instead of just joking around on that. And we still have Terran and Zerg to cover, so we'll be right back after this commercial. See you guys then. Yeah, it'll get crazy. Jeff, give me your real thoughts on Mass Recall and the Arc Shield.
I don't think it could possibly make it into the game and be balanced. I really don't. Like, shrinking the radius of it, all that stuff, I really just think... I mean, Protoss need a Nexus in general. They're going to have them. They're going to have many of them. Towards the end of the game, they're all going to have a lot of energy. It's just going to happen. Like, that thing we used to do in the beta where we talked about how bad Protoss players were if they had any energy at all, that doesn't happen. In the late game, you run out of things to Chrono Boost. You Chrono Boost all your gateways every once in a while when you have a big fight. But otherwise, you'll never be able to show up to a Protoss base. They're never out of position. They're always going to have their entire army there. And
it's
guess
definitely
what?
too good, man.
It's not like it's a one-time cooldown, so now their army's stuck over there. You're like, LOL, that was just a 2D, that was just a drop. I'm actually over here, and they're like, sup, so am I. Like, they can bounce around the map.
Keep in mind, like, they have to anticipate you. Like, any army that's already at the Nexus, like, pretty much Protoss loses in that positioning, like, because when they recall in, all their shit's gonna be like in a ball, and if like Zerg already has a surround on them, like recalling into that is just death.
Well, let me just say
So-
this then.
Recall to your natural.
Maybe they're fighting the photon cannons at the front. Maybe it's just a drop. It's just harass. But if their army's surrounding the Nexus and you recall into that, then yeah, you're probably pretty dumb. But there's a lot of scenarios where it's like, the Protoss should be punished for being out of position. The Zerg and Terran should be rewarded for having caught that base off guard. This spell makes it so that never happens again.
All right, I just thought of something too. If I could add in before we switch subjects, I can feel JP getting itchy.
Yeah, man, I watched that Swarm
I
House
was
video.
just thinking to myself, how do we balance this, right? The recall thing, because it's obviously too strong. It's 75 energy. LOL, that's like ridiculous. I would sacrifice a Nexus to recall my army one time to my base. I would build one Nexus in my base to have that power. 400 minerals to recall an army if I get into a bad position one time in the course of a game? That's an insane deal. Imagine how many Zealots you lose just by running away from Marauders. I mean, 400 minerals is nothing. So, I mean, if that stayed in there, I would just have extra Nexi sitting around just to save myself. I'd run in, right-click on a planetary, and beam out of there. You know, it's like insane.
That sounds like a cool idea, but it sounds really goofy. Like, I think it would make more sense to have like a 400 mineral unit that you build instead of like, I'm gonna throw a Nexus here and like suicide it later to recall an army.
That's
like,
not my
actual.
Really it's not my actual idea. I'm just saying, like, to put it in perspective, it's so ridiculous that I would go that far when they just want me to use 75 energy, and I'm like, well, I would give you the Nexus for this. Thank you.
Right. The last Protoss change, low ground pylons no longer power high ground areas even if they are within the power radius. Jeff, is this something you can get behind, man? Do you agree with this?
The cannons?
Which one is this?
No. The low ground pylons no longer power high ground areas.
Oh, is this actually going to happen?
This is in Heart of
They're
Storm.
talking about
Alpha.
Oh.
Talking about it, yeah.
Oh, so you
I
can't
don't
like warp in with Void Rays and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I didn't think it was a huge issue. Like, I guess they did this to target several all-ins that are going on right now. And it's like one of
It's
the
another
final...
4-gate nerf.
It's definitely
It is another
definitely the
4-gate.
nail in the coffin for 4-gate. Like they absolutely have to get above the ramp. So all you do is put both your gateways at the top of the ramp, like Europeans already are, and it's like you're not getting in there at all. I don't know. I don't know if I'd get behind it, but I wouldn't I'm not going to tear hair out. So if people feel really strongly that it needs to go in, then I'd be okay
Might just
with it.
make Warp Prism used more or something. Maybe
Yeah,
it's
it's not that big of a deal to me.
No, it's not.
Tyler?
Can high ground ones power low ground stuff though?
I think so.
Because I use that just for
Yeah.
warping in, like when I'm leaving a base.
Yeah,
If they
I
ever
think so.
took that out, I would probably walk from Phoenix, Arizona, to California, knock on DB's door. He'd open the door, and I'd say, "Not gonna hit you. But we gotta talk. It's really fucking stupid. That was a dumb decision. It was really dumb." He's like, "Jeff, come on inside. Let's talk about it. I've got the Viper." And like,
Is warping it on the high ground still a problem with the ramp changes, with the ramp vision changes? You can't warp up past a held down ramp, can you?
I think the only time it's really used now is like these Void Ray or Phoenix builds where you warp in Zealots and stuff from below.
I kind of like those, so I think that's kind of cute. Especially on maps like, just for one example, like Chikuris, if the Protoss throws down a pylon really early against the like adjacent main that the other person doesn't spawn at, like warping in Zealots there later if you do like a Void Ray build to kind of harass somebody. I don't know. I think those are kind of cool. I don't see the reason to remove that.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. That's my first thought too. Is like if you can get vision up there.
Yeah, it's a lot you got to go through.
Yeah, if you got vision, then why not just let it happen?
Just let it happen, man.
Let it happen.
Well, on the same token, I actually don't care if it leaves. I don't think it will negatively affect play all that much with all this new shit coming in. It's not like we're gonna be devoid of strategies anytime soon.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Terran stuff. Battlecruiser sprint type ability called Redline Reactor. Artos did anyone see how fast this actually is?
I didn't actually get to see that.
I didn't see this either. Browder didn't tell me to make this, so I didn't make it.
They were telling me what to make, man.
I know. It's like make the baneling. Oh, go look at the baneling nest, and then I just like actually stood up because of how crazy that is. But we'll get to that in a couple of minutes. No one saw the Redline Reactor then. Saw how fast it is.
Wait, what is Redline Reactor?
It's charge for battlecruisers.
It's a sprint type ability called.
Oh, yeah. They did see that. It's really funny. The cooldown means that wherever you go, you're going to be stuck there for a while, but it moves pretty damn fast.
Like Mach 5 or something.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of any air units to put into perspective with. Maybe
110%.
like maybe
Okay,
Muta speed.
110%. Yeah.
Wait, a battlecruiser is moving at Muta speed?
Like it was comically fast. It was
What did
pretty,
you just?
It was pretty comically fast to
How
watch.
long?
I don't know. Was it like 5 seconds or 10 seconds? It was a pretty short time, but it moved. It moved.
This is why. Hold on. This is why it's in the game. It's so when the Protoss recalls across the map, the battlecruiser can then catch up to.
It was
Right?
We're gonna have to play that music that they.
You gotta
play in all
watch
those
out,
videos.
though, 'cause
The Benny Hill music.
It's like running around.
Somebody in chat, go look up the speed of a Muta now, and then compare that to what the battlecruiser speed would be. Let's get some maths going on in here.
Catch me if you can. You're never gonna catch me.
I think this might be for TVT because it's the more it tends towards mech, the more it's going to be BC Viking finishes. But
Wait.
just having more Vikings kills the BCs to a certain degree, especially
you
with
trying to
Thor
make
being
this-
taken out.
Are you trying to take this serious?
Sorry, guys.
The red line reactor can't make it in, dude. There's no way.
This also counters the yanking spell from the Viper. If you get yanked, you just zoom your way back across to the Terran base too.
Well, that'd be a tug of war.
There's
I'd pay
no
money.
mothership trying to excel away from these BCs anymore, so I don't know what's
Okay, apparently the Mutalisk speed is 3.75, and the battlecruiser while boosted is 3.6.
Wow, that's pretty quick.
There you go.
I can't wait to see battlecruisers run something like oh no, it's
Your
battlecruisers.
medevac is trying to escape with a drop of 2 BCs. Yeah.
Oh god.
We're seeing eight battlecruisers fly in and like you model your base and then zoom away. You're like, ah.
Damn you! Oh man, this is a Velo. This is.
Oh god. How will that's what they? You know what? A Velo should be brought to the Dustin Browder headquarters, and he should be in charge of testing new units. Like how ridiculously long can you make a game with some of these? If a Velo had shredders plus mass nuke plus Mach 5 battlecruisers, how long would it take to beat him in a game?
I hear you keep saying if, but I don't think you understand. It's soon, my friend. It's soon.
Well, I guess we'll just kind of move on. Reaper losing building attack plus gains HP recovery skill.
Which is a straight nerf. It's like a straight upgrade against Zerg, as far as I'm concerned.
Wait, what is it? Say it again, sorry.
The Reaper loses the building attack, so no more destroying
Okay.
of whatever in mere seconds, and it gains an HP recovery skill passive.
It's like shield regeneration, only it's
Yeah.
health.
That makes sense because there's so many games in TVT where your Reaper gets hit like once or twice by Marines and you're like, oh, this is not useful anymore. Go sit at a gold base. So I like that. That's good because the building attack isn't really used all that much.
It doesn't make sense if you read the lore.
Oh shit! I didn't think of that. I'm sorry, guys.
Well, they dropped the ball, man. What were they doing? I mean, does that seem like an effective change to the Reaper to make it more viable to you guys in some of the matchups or in some situations?
I think it just makes it slightly better in the early game so that you can actually run in with it a few times. Like, you can run in, kill a probe, take 2 stalker hits, leave, then come back later and do it again. So that's cool. We might see it a little bit because of that. And that's good, because the Reaper's, like, not that useful right now unless you're QXC.
Actually, it really nerfs hardcore the ability to get that 3v3 versus AI achievement where you mass Reapers. That's like an unintended consequence if anybody cares about that. You really needed those to kill buildings pretty fast.
Why do you know these things?
You don't want to know.
Yeah. Thoughts on the Reaper?
The Reaper?
Yeah, man.
Sure.
Do it.
Big deal.
All right. What about Ghost Cloaks now time-based?
Sweet.
Wait, what is that? What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, explain that one to Artosis so that I can watch his sadness.
Ghost Cloak is now time-based. It costs a set amount of energy. So I think they took away the research of it. But you can cloak at any time, but it's only for a limited amount of time. And then it has a cooldown.
Which, Dan, let me explain that to you. That means that it doesn't cost mana. They don't have to worry about using mana.
No, you have to use an initial amount of mana. So maybe that's even better.
Yeah, it costs a
Is that
set
how it
of
works? Not a
it
cooldown?
costs a set of
Get,
amount
like-
of energy.
Because right now you can be at 110 energy, cloak it, walk right up EMP, and you got the EMP off. What if it
Oh.
costs like 50? Then you have to be at, you have to be
But
at
it doesn't burn it, I guess.
125, and then you can do it.
Okay, there's just like an upstart, and then it's done for a period of time.
As long as they make it the right number, I'm good with that.
Right now
Unless
it's-
they start with it. Are they going to start with cloak?
Yeah,
They're not gonna have
yeah. They start with
25
it.
right now.
That could make some stuff pretty funny, because we've even seen occasionally people try to pull off early
Yeah.
cloaked builds, and those things actually, I've seen
Yeah,
people kill 17 workers with 2 ghosts. It's like
Yeah,
not
they-
out of the question.
They get there before a cloaked banshee. So if
Yeah.
you don't
Yeah.
open up Robo
Robo.
against Terran, you will get a ghost in your mineral line, or you run that risk. Now there's 2 forms. Like, it used to be a troll thing that Major and a few other Terrans would do against Protoss, and it was really cute because it kind of worked, but was also like really wanky, obviously. Now I think it's like completely viable. Your ghost comes out with cloak, it's 25 energy, LOL. If the Protoss went like 3-gate expand or anything like that.
I don't see why the coming out with cloak thing is necessary. Like, it seems
Yeah.
independent of this other change. This other change, I think, is fine. I don't know why the ghost needs to have cloak.
It just seems kind of random.
Oh, do the cannons detect the arc shields?
No,
No.
they
Oh,
don't.
shit. They should think about that.
Also, I don't know if you guys mentioned it, I missed it, but a lot of people were spamming it in chat. Those arc shield cannons don't affect massive units.
Well, they just don't even affect them.
Or I'm sorry. They don't. They only hit light units. They only
Oh.
hit light units. Those cannons.
Oh,
Okay.
so wait a minute. Are Marauders light?
No.
Are Medivacs light?
Yes.
Yeah.
Roaches are not. Lings are.
Wings, Marines.
Banelings
Zealots.
actually are not light, correct?
They're not.
Ghosts are not either.
Ghosts are not. Oh yeah, they're psionic or something.
Yeah.
Medevacs are armored, I guess. They're not light either.
So maybe the cannons actually don't
Banshees.
affect any.
Banshees? Does it? Banshees.
So it's like
Banshees are
just
light.
for killing probes off with an offensive assimilator. Cool.
Banshees, mutas.
Banshees have like 8 range though, so it wouldn't affect those.
Oh, that's right. Shit. Banshees are
Well,
still.
it's for like proxy zealot rush and like SCV marine rush, I guess.
It's to appeal to casuals who lose to 6 pool a lot.
Start
Now, since you
rush.
never chrono boost
Yeah.
in the beginning of the game, and you'll have like 100 energy like 3.5 minutes in, and then the 6 pool shows up, you're like, oh.
It's a
It
new
works.
wave of rage. I can't
That's
wait to
good,
see
man. That
the things
bring
typed
down
up.
cheeses at the lower leagues. Make those newbies play macro games and get better.
You got to bring those Bronze League balance specs like way into line. Like I heard like Zerg was winning like 67% in bronze and silver or some shit. It's unacceptable.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. Let's talk about the Thor.
Hang on, before you do,
Sure.
why do you know the win percentages in the bronze and silver leagues, Destiny?
Don't they post those win percentages when they start talking about balance? I could have sworn they did.
Why do you read them?
Because it's on the Team Liquid forums. Everybody knows. It's the number one argument. Can
It's a vicious
Infestors
cycle,
beat,
man.
Can
It's like-
Infestors beat Ghosts or a Ghost better than Infestors? I don't know.
You know
the last
what? I found
Zerg
out
post, if you look at the win rating of ZVT on the SEA server in 1994 on like Metalopolis and Steps, like you can clearly see there's an advantage. It's like, oh,
They did a study. The STD count in preschool is actually at an all-time low. Can't explain it. You guys aren't laughing at that? You fucking serious?
I got it, man. It's late.
I was gonna laugh, but it seemed like it was like a child rape joke, and that was in bad taste. So
Oh, Destiny! I don't do those jokes. I do child STD jokes.
This is getting dark, guys. I'm gonna have to start talking about the Thor. It costs 600 minerals. Now requires a fusion core.
Double down Thor.
It lost its air attack. It gets bombardment, which requires a 1 to 2 second delay before actually firing to set up. It's 150 energy. Thor's attack / HP increased, and you can only have one out at a time. Destiny, I think you played the most out of all of us. Did you ever see this in any of the games?
yeah, Cat's made one. It's cute.
I don't know why that's funny, but it is.
Cat's pajamas, not the other cat. Sorry, he was.
That's not funny. Okay, that's a little bit.
I mean,
funny,
it's just like a beefier Thor, and then it has like some really stupid, like barrage.
That's
thing.
the bombardment thing. Yeah, what does that do?
It's like this huge AOE that deals a little bit over, I think, 6,000 damage. It just destroys everything.
I heard it's 500.
Or, well, it might be 500. Yeah.
How much does a nuke do in this game?
I heard they're changing it. I'm serious. I heard they're changing it.
There's no change to the nuke, at least not in this. Maybe no one nuked or something in the.
Its ground attack does, I think, 120 damage with 0 upgrades.
People are saying 300 plus 200 to buildings.
All right, so this big Thor guy needs a fusion core and it costs a quadrillion money.
600 minerals.
I don't know, man.
You know what would be interesting is to see this because as Artosis is dictated to the rest of the world, the future of TVT is mech. So to see one of these guys unleashed on a really unfortunately sieged Terran, like it could be used to move. Like in Brood Wars, sometimes Terrans would use nukes to force the other Terran out of position, and then they'd bring their army in. You might be able to do the same with this kind of a Thor, maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, that would be good, but the problem is when you go and start setting up those cannons, like 5 battlecruisers appear above you and kill you.
I can't understand why it doesn't cost gas. Like, minerals are free.
Oh, it doesn't
to
cost
Terrans.
gas?
No, 0 gas.
600 minerals.
600 minerals, no gas.
What?
All right, I'm going to do the Joker
Yeah, that's
pencil thing
outrageous,
right
right?
now, man.
Do we get a thumbs up or down this unit?
Yeah.
Drop 2 mules and you can buy a double down Thor?
Yes.
That's pretty crazy, I have to say.
You know, you could
I
just send
cannot
those to the
wait.
enemy all game. It'd be like the final mission of Wings of Liberty where Kerrigan keeps coming at you over and over again. Since Terrans have like limitless minerals, they could just send one of these Thors and like bombard. Like, you're already mad because Terrans always have these like infinite like ways to harass your resources. I'm imagining like once per game behind your base on Zelnaga Caverns, like that fucking Thor just behind you, just bombarding your base, and like everything dies. Like, god damn it! And then you kill it, and then it like shows up again like 4 minutes later at like your 5th somewhere. It's like, what the fuck?
I think it should be announced by like a trumpet. It's like Thor is here. You can like hear it across the map. You're like,
That's how you know when it's out.
It's a game live when it comes out.
The whole time it's walking at you, it's like, here I come.
Wait,
Comes
Emily?
Thor.
People in chat are saying it costs 400 gas.
Yeah.
Does it? It only says 600 minerals in this.
I think I would have remembered it
Post-
costing no
Okay.
gas.
Yeah, that's
Someone-
kinda
That sounds fair.
Price
600,
is averted.
400.
JP,
That's
your
so
link to
stupid. I would
shit.
go off one base every game. Forget macro play.
So this will be like the new unit that all of the one base Terran all in center around. Mighty Thor. Like if your opponent builds this and he's still on one base, you know he's all inning you. This will be like the key indicator.
All right. It's getting late. Let's move on to Zerg. Overseer removed. We kind of already covered that. Some of these changes are pretty wild, but that's saying a lot. Hydra speed increased by 50% off creep.
Hive tech though.
Yeah, so speed is equal on and off creep. Hive
Wait,
tech
what?
upgrade cost
Which unit
150,
is this?
150. The Hydralisk.
Goodness.
Oh, okay, but that's an upgrade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
High tech upgrades from the
High
Hydra.
Okay, that's cool. I'm excited to see that. People start kiting their Hydras and stuff and not getting hit by laser beams. And
Also, on Hive Tech is burrowed banelings can now move. It costs 150, 150.
it's neat.
Have fun,
Alright.
guys. Talk about it.
Sounds good to me. I was worried that my force fields were getting too ridiculous with those guys.
No, this is ridiculous that people are freaking out of this because you can already give Banelings the ability to fly and 200 extra health. Like, why would you burrow that shit when you have
Well,
They
Here's the
move
thing.
fast. They move like twice as fast as burrowed roaches too. Like even off creep, those motherfuckers are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Less action.
You can now load banelings into an overlord and burrow underneath and sandwich the Protoss army.
Sandwich them on the Y plane.
Over and under.
That's right. Instead of the X plane that we normally get sandwich on,
Yeah.
you can actually have a
Y
spherical
planes.
flank, guys. Think about that. A spherical flank of
In
banelings.
3 dimensions from both land and air.
And on
That's right.
some monitors, you could actually wear 3-dimensional glasses and fucking feel the action. You can see that shit.
Ah.
I don't know. I think it's weird. I think they're like, here I go. So we had people loading banelings into overlords. Too much action. All right, not good enough. Made it so they can just go under the ground. Okay. Just they roll under the ground, and with their hairs, they pick out the dirt and they move. So, Kim,
Not good then? Should not be there?
This is
Why?
a great change. I love it.
what?
It's just going to be a detection thing. Like, everyone's going to have to, be aware of detection.
This is
Yeah.
a really good crowd pleaser too. Like I'm imagining like the crowds
Yeah.
like at MLG when you see like the 50 burrowed banelings like jawsing their way
Yeah.
towards the army.
Yeah,
and
that's
true.
That's a
Makes
good point.
base trade. Actually, you know what? That makes just burrowed banelings in general a lot better, because so often you see Terran come and you can feel it, and you're like, oh, this fucker's going to scam me. This is terrible. And you lose like 5 of them. Now you can just be like, and you just right-click them away, man.
Sure.
Can't
The
wait.
only problem is, remember though, this is a Hive Tech upgrade, so this will be like super late game stuff too.
Yeah.
I can't wait for my show match in 2012 against Destiny when he fungles my observers, snipes them, and then everywhere is dangerous. I'm like literally
Everywhere.
just fucking running away, like, oh god, oh shit. And there's like literally banelings just circling around, and Destiny's.
I'm gonna be casting swarms with the Vipers over armies, then flying my Vipers into the armies, and then grappling hooking banelings into the armies.
Guys,
There you go.
guys,
Oh, man.
don't
You're gonna have
worry.
15
The
observers.
Shredder can take these things out, no problem.
Oh yeah, that's true.
The Shredder hit below ground.
That's true.
I did not test that, but if it hits air and ground, I'd imagine it would hit subterranean as well.
My answer: I think it should. It's a little bit dumb if it hits, like Destiny said, air and ground, but not below ground. I think it should hit
That
below
would be
ground.
stupid, wouldn't it?
Well then, Dan, take your negative attitude, okay? I like the idea of
I'm
it.
sorry.
I like the idea of it.
Yeah.
I still like the idea of it, guys. I'm sorry. I think it's cool.
Oh god. All right,
They
Dan.
should be able to deal damage to the past. We don't have any time altering units.
Deal damage to the past. Like, you go into the replay and I find out that you actually killed my army much earlier than I thought.
Oh god. All right. The other change was, of course, to the Ultralisk. We do have a video of it. Here's what it's going to look like when it occurs.
This is
let me
my
see back.
favorite ability in the entire world.
I actually had a lot of fun with this too. So
Wait, which
This is-
ability is this? I'm sorry. I
It's
keep
called the
missing
dolphin
it.
attack, Dan.
Oh,
This
this,
is
yeah,
so
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, actually.
Surprise! Nom 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 nom.
It's like Ultralisks were slow as shit, so they gave them a speed upgrade so that they weren't as terrible. But then they realized that that was terrible, so they just gave them speed by default. And then they realized Ultralisks are still kind of too slow, so just give them an ability.
hold on, guys. Zelnik has informed me that shredders do hit burrowed units, and that they also move slower underground because they don't have the speed upgrade underground. Just for clarifications, referring to banelings. So.
Or Selnik, did you know this? Well, this is obviously how you take out Shredders' Zerg, guys.
You get up with the.
You burrow attack them with Ultras.
I can't wait till the Ultras dies halfway there. I'm going to trip. It's like head pops up above the sand. I don't know. Does anyone have a strong opinion about this? Like, I feel like my Immortals will still laugh at them.
Yeah, they will.
Yeah.
Well, no, because what you do is you pull the Immortals out of the army, and then you
Oh.
movement the Ultras in. You like
So you do the switcheroo.
armies. That's what you do, man.
But
You
what if I have
pull the
Zealots?
Immortals onto your moving Baneling landmines, and then your Ultras go underneath the ground and land on the Blink Stalkers.
I'm pretty much still just in shock about the below ground moving banelings. Like, I think that's terrifying.
It is, man.
It's scary, but
a
you know what?
scary
People
world,
should have
Jeff.
protection. Every game that I see Terrans using 50 scans of move around the map, I die a little inside. Just get a Raven, man.
No way. Can never build a Raven ever.
course.
Dan, that requires lifting your starport and putting it back down again.
I remember I played Mask in a show match way long time ago, and it was the best of 7, and I beat him 4 games in a row with Burrowed Banelings every single time. Never met a Raven. Just a random comment. Even today, Terran's.
Well, that's like actually every Terran in the world.
Ever. They'd rather make 500 scans, and they'll do it in series too. Like in the next scan, they're like, "I'll be super careful." So I was like, "Oh, good, you're gonna build a Raven?" No, I'm just never gonna meal. Like, oh, okay.
Mission accomplished.
All right, the last change of
And
the
then
night.
they still beat us.
This has been a really long episode. Corruptors no longer have the ability Corruption. They now have the ability Siphon against buildings that does 1 DPS and converts damage done to minerals.
Imba.
So
So
I
it's
can
not
do it
like-
on your own builders?
It's like the anti-SCV.
Do what,
Wait.
damn?
So you can mine with corruptors now?
Yes.
1 mineral per damage.
And how long does this last for?
I think
Like,
Until it
infinitely.
dies.
Till it dies.
if you have a group of corruptors, man, like Zerg no longer runs out of minerals. This is kind of crazy.
Basically,
Yeah, build an Evo chamber. And how much health does an Evo chamber have?
No, man, I kill
And
your
how much
buildings
does
with
it
it.
cost?
That's how you do it.
It doesn't say how much it costs.
I don't think you should be able, I don't think you can siphon from your own buildings. If that's the way it is now, I think we should be able to count on
Here's
them
what you can
removing
do
that.
now, man.
Yeah.
When you're sending the corruptors over the robotics facility, you can also make money.
Yeah, you could make 4 minerals.
Jesus.
now we need to figure out what's the critical number of corruptors to have before you can suicide all of your drones. That's the real question. And then free up the rest of your supply for swarm hosts or whatever.
We're gonna have actual captured bases in late game situations where like a Zerg surrounds a building or like a base and is actively not killing it, so that they can siphon shit off that. And the Protoss is like warping in fake cannons to try to do some damage. I don't know.
Well,
I'm actually excited about that. I love that change of the corruptor.
Yeah, I'm
I
excited
think
about it
it's
too.
interesting.
It'll be the
Because
new most underused spell in the history of StarCraft.
Yeah, but here's the thing. If you're really, really quick, we get some sick, badass Zerg with 400 APM in here, and I mean, that's just something you can always be doing. Like, the edge of the base, there's going to be like a depot, or there's going to be like a pylon. You can just nail it. Bam, there you go. 2 actions, you gain some minerals.
Dan,
I think that's so cool.
Dan, the risk. Let me explain this to you. The risk is you gain 8 minerals versus you lose a 150 mineral creature.
I like the idea personally of playing 2v2 team
Well,
games.
that's the
Okay.
whole thing, man. You have to decide when to use it and when not to. It rewards smarter, quicker players, which is what we need more of in this game. We need smarter, quicker players destroying those lesser than them.
I think, you know what? Here we go. They should just have a fucking slot machine in the middle of the map. You go over there, you can yank on that shit, and if you get 3 hearts in a row, you get 25 minerals. Otherwise, you have to pay 15 minerals to do it.
let's end on that.
Yahtzee!
For the complete list of
Yes.
part of the swarm changes. We got to do a quick commercial. Twitter.com/HitMeJP. We'll take 3 questions because it's really late. And then we'll do shout-outs. Looks like my camera battery just died, so we'll also change that in the break. But we'll be right back, guys. See you on the other side of this commercial.
I want to.
All right, guys, welcome back. Got the new battery in the camera. Time to answer some questions. Twitter.com/HitMeJP. First question from Chuckix or ChuckyXX or something like that. He wants to know, can you ask In Control what your thoughts are on the ESEA Season 10? Jeff?
Basically what happened was while we were at IPL3, the conclusion of the ESEA season had been decided to have occurred on the exact day that an eagle hit a truck and a truck hit the internet. So of course we were like, hey, we can't make the finals, we can play it tomorrow or early next week. ESEA said, nope, you have to play it today. If you can't play it today, there's a walkover in the grand finals of their several month-long season. We were obviously very upset about this because actually leading up into that event, we had been ready to play our Clan Wars for 2 weeks. We were all current. but the other teams were behind schedule. So we had to wait, and finally they're like, okay, we're ready to play. How's this weekend sound? It's IPL3. So we played one Clan War from IPL3. The next day the internet goes out. Like I said, we couldn't play it. So they made a thread announcing the next season of ESEA, and of course I'm like the fourth response because he responded to his own OP and said, oh, by the way, the standings for last season were Czech 6 first, EG second, so on and so forth. And I was like, oh, by the way, the finals weren't played at all because you guys walked us over. And it started a shitstorm.
Czech 6 took that win when you guys didn't have internet?
Well, to their credit, they said that actually they didn't want to take the win, but ESEA ruled it out. They said, nope. We
you know what? Teams need to man up and players need to man up and tell them to just shut the fuck up. That's actually, I would be like, do not list me as your champion. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous.
I would like it if, I mean, obviously from my position, I would love it if there was a clan war of some sorts played and an actual champion crowned. But the full story, like I said, is you can check that thread out on Team Liquid. I obviously got very livid. It cost us a potential championship, a lot of money, an exciting clan war. I mean, this is the kind of stuff we've been playing for, right? Like a lot of people leading up into that championship have been saying, this is not being said as much anymore, but they were saying, where's the EG results and stuff? This was one of the ones we were very proud of. This league had a lot of the top teams in it, and we were kicking ass, so we were pretty excited about it. Didn't get a chance. De Beers was unfortunately the admin of Name who kind of like stepped forward and was like, I think this is fine, and here's why. Like, you should have backup players and stuff. He said a lot of stuff. He probably, he got pretty bad.
That was one of my favorite threads.
Is that the Counter-Strike player?
It's the Counter-Strike player.
Yeah.
So we have this Counter-Strike player that actually doesn't understand StarCraft teams at all deciding this?
Worked for Counter-Strike.
Slops to him, man. Slops.
You really think even in Counter-Strike they would send their backup players to play the finals of a huge team league that they've been playing over the course of several months?
It was bad, but let me tell the full story, because I mean, at the end of the day, basically, De Beers and I met at MLG. He said, hey, I'm really sorry. It didn't go the way I wanted it to. We, of course, won a finals match. It just logistically didn't work out, and I'm very sorry. And I said, hey, I'm sorry for going, a little bit primeval on you online, and we kind of hugged it out a little bit, bitch, and it's okay. But at the end of the day, I'm still, if a league is out there listening, if some admin guy or whatever knows, you have to play your effing finals. Like, forget the teams. It's your own marketing. Like, you don't give out $5,000 in cash prizes and then not have a finals. Like, that's butchering your own ad revenue. That's butchering your own PR. Like, ESA very well could now not have a StarCraft league, and that's not me threatening. That's stuff that they've actually talked about. I'm sorry. Like, if they're not getting a return on these leagues, they're not going to keep doing it, and they shot themselves in the foot, and it sucks that we're going to have to be the victim to it.
There you go. One more question from C-Punk's Toad. What do you think the pros are going to do when Heart of the Storm comes out? Will they switch immediately, or will they wait for the full version? When the beta comes out, sorry. This is kind of something I want to know. I mean, how do you guys think Blizzard's going to get the feedback they need during the beta for the game to come out so it's competitive ready and tournaments can use it when it first comes out?
I think I know exactly what's going to happen with this. The very top-level pros are not going to touch the beta very much, whereas all the B-level pros are going to play the shit out of it to try to get a leg up when it comes out.
I disagree.
That's how it'll go. I think so. What do you think, then?
I think the game will, insta-switch when it goes into even beta mode. It'll be that weird.
You can't do the beta tournaments, right?
This will be exactly like Brood War and StarCraft 2. If there's still money in Wings of Liberty, then the top level pros will definitely continue to play Liberty. No, it's not even a question about it. They have to, because that's where the money is. And then all of the B teamers will switch over to try to hop on the new money that's going to come out over the next expansion.
Yeah.
It'll be just like Brood War, StarCraft 2.
You guys have to understand though, all the attention, all the talk, all the news will be about this new exciting flashy thing that everyone's playing, everyone's clamoring to get this new thing.
I don't think tournaments will put the beta into their tournaments though, because not everyone has the beta, it's not as accessible, it's not fully made, there's so many reasons. I think that all the tournaments will finish up until the soonest tournament that they have after the actual game's released is when we'll see them switching to Heart of the Storm. So again, I really think it's going to be top players staying on Wings of Liberty as much as possible, playing some beta, but it's all these guys that don't win tournaments are going to be kicking ass on the beta, trying to, when they switch over, know something the other guy doesn't know, or be more used to the micro or something like that, and then take over that spot at the top.
Both are possible. I mean, your argument's not ludicrous. I just think I could see it also being where it's just a weird state again, where we had that thing where people are playing tournaments in beta mode.
it'll just depend on how much sponsors agree with that statement, that it's like really shiny and new, and they want to put all their money towards those kinds of tournaments as opposed to hosting money towards Wings of Liberty tournaments.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we'll have
I think
to
Blizzard
see.
might make that choice too. They might
Yeah.
just be like, all right,
That's
everyone
true.
keep playing Wings of Liberty. This is almost out. Just wait for the full product because esports is getting more professional, and you want a finished product being shown, not something that's buggy or imbalanced or something like that.
Yeah, they wouldn't they wouldn't make any mistakes on a stage of.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you were going somewhere else with that. I'm not gonna lie.
No, they try to do the right thing, man.
Lost position.
One of my favorite Reddit comments was, you know it's going to be a bad tournament when the audience is going crazy happy because the map didn't spawn in close positions.
It's true. It's true. Let's do some shout-outs because this show is officially 3 hours long, and that is insane. So,
Wow.
In control, shout-outs. I'll just start with you because I know it's going to be the longest.
It will be long. That's what she said. I'm going to be casting at the TESPA tournament at the University of Texas this coming weekend. It's going to be taking place Saturday. I'll be there Friday. Please do come say hi if you're participating in that. They're doing an amazing thing over there. It's ran by their CSL organization, if I'm not mistaken, which is like 125 people strong. It's this ridiculously large tournament for $3,000, and they're doing something awesome over there in Texas. So hopefully you guys will check that out.
Is that in Austin, by the way? That's Austin, right?
Yeah, Austin. Keep it weird. Also, my sponsors: Intel, Monster, SteelSeries, Kingston HyperX, and then also we recently welcomed Beyond Gaming to the fam. They're sponsoring the Lair, so it is the EG Lair powered by Beyond Gaming, which is really cool. We're really excited about that. I've been streaming EG In Control, In Control TV, and then my Twitter is. Wow, I have to ban that kid real quick. Boom. Jesus, get out of here. Whoa. It was like abrasively dumb. So yeah, EG In Control Twitter, and then In Control TV for my stream. I'm going to be playing on the Korean ladder. Dan, I don't think I told you that. It's freaking awesome. There's no lag here. It's sick, fun.
You have
Such
no
good
lag on the
practice.
Korean ladder?
No lag at all.
Oh, that's the sickest, man. That's
I'm really
awesome.
happy. I woke up 3 days in a row just happy, and I realized it was because I was playing on the Korean ladder. So I'm excited about that.
Huh.
Yeah.
And then Providence, same thing as always. That's actually like just a couple weeks out. I'm going to be in that open bracket looking to smash some skulls. Please do come say hi. That's going to be the last tournament for a few months on the MLG circuit at least, and it's my last chance to see a lot of wonderful people. Also, it's the first MLG where there's a chance there's going to be fucking snow on the ground. It's going to be cold. I'll be in my element. I'm not going to be sweating like a pig. I'm going to be so excited. Can't wait for you freezing, skinny-ass nerds to die while I live.
Just like,
That was a
Jesus,
great
man.
shout-out.
Kind of harsh.
You transformed.
Okay, guys. Let's roll it back a little bit here. All right.
Oh,
Not
God.
die. Okay. I like the idea of it.
Gotta be careful, man.
Yeah.
All right, Tyler.
They threaten the life of everyone.
Yeah.
Tyler, shout-outs.
Well, I hope everyone dies, and I hope their lives are terrible. Thanks to the Little App Factory, Razer, StrideGum, TeamLiquid.net. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Artosis.
Shout out to my dog, my little pit dog that we just got shaved.
Oh my God! Why would you do that?
Dan, what'd you do?
Why would you do that?
He's
I
got,
didn't
like,
think.
Oh my God!
Listen,
Dan, I don't mean to alarm you, but there's
going to
a
happen.
fucking
Summer's
strange
over,
creature
man.
in your
You're
arms, man.
cruel.
Dan,
We brought her
they thought
down,
you
and
were
I
trying to
wanted.
cook him up.
I wanted a haircut, but this is what I got back. So
Look at it, man.
She's very
It's
cold.
it's so
Yeah.
cold, man. It's
Isn't
shivering.
it already?
No, I know
really-
it's cold, man. She's shivering all the time. I have to put little sweaters on her and stuff.
Oh my God! To that person, Dan.
He looks like one of the Three Stooges.
Jesus.
Be nice.
I got to show my
Jesus.
dog, by the way, too, so we got to come back to that.
All right, we'll
So,
get the video prepped up.
Also,
Dan,
follow
shout
me on
outs.
Twitter. I'm Artosis there. Do I have anything else I need to shout out?
What's
Like-
what's your blog thing or whatever?
Oh yeah, scdojo.com. I'm just posting random stuff on there. A lot of build orders and stuff for my notebook. It's just kind of haphazard, but if you follow me on Twitter, you'll see it all anyways. It links to it. Yeah, I think that's it for now.
And
All right, someone else can go.
Destiny. I didn't give you shout-outs last time, so I got to give you shout-outs this time.
Shout out to everybody that watches me. Thanks for supporting me. Thanks to Cloud9 Labs. They moved my website over to quantic-destiny.com. I appreciate that. And thanks to Quantic, Mark, Axel on the team, everybody that I've practiced with so far, and everybody that I will get to practice with. Thanks for having me.
All right, Jeff, do you want to? Excuse me. Do you want to show your dog?
Okay, so you're gonna have to help me out with this because I'm gonna have to. I can't show this video.
This is actually how Jeff.
Can you see my screen?
God.
Yeah, that's actually.
That's pretty cute.
It's a pretty good dog, man.
It's not as cute as this, of course, but.
I want to see your two dogs
fight. Man. That thing should be in a horror movie.
Should bring them both to Providence.
I get this guy Sunday. Just watch though. This end pose is gonna melt your heart. Get ready. Okay, wait for it. Right. Boom, your heart. Your heart is his. That's Barris in the Bold.
Jesus.
Yeah. Barris in the Bold, motherfucker. Oh my god.
That's such a dumb name for the dog.
No, it isn't.
Oh god.
Oh god.
It's gonna be in all caps legally.
All right. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. Also, thanks to the fans who sent me the show notes. I don't remember your names, but I will remember.
One more shout out,
Artosis.
please.
Go ahead.
Mine was quick. I got one more.
Sure.
Thanks to all the fans at BlizzCon and MLG. You guys were amazing. Really made mine and Nick's weeks. Sorry we could not sign more. They really keep us pretty busy there. So that's all.
We do. Let's see what else. So there was some MLG coverage at BlizzCon. We had a David Kim interview. I think we had a Dustin Browder interview. We had a ton of different interviews. 30-minute interview with MMA that Slasher did. So go check all that out. Also, guys, the MLG Global Invitational is having its finals coming up at 6 p.m. on Thursday will be the U.S. 6 p.m. on Friday is going to be the Korean Invitational finals. And then Tuesday at 6 p.m. is going to be the European Invitational. Go check that out. More information at MajorLeagueGaming.com. That's going to do it, though. Thanks to everyone for tuning in. I think this is one of our most watched shows. So thank you guys so much. We'll be back next week with another State of the Game right here at MLG Live. We'll see you then. 10:30 Central, 11:30 Eastern. See you guys then. I'm out. We're out. Peace.